What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 6TR Chapter 101. Explosive Mental Power. Is he the Uchiha Obito Mizuki said? What a weird ability. If I hadn't learned the improved Izanagi from Mizuki, I would have been trapped in that space. Izanagi turns everything that is not good for him into nothing, and only keeps the things that are good for him to become reality. The improved Izanagi does not need to form seals, and can be used directly as soon as the thought comes up. Unless you're instantly killed without realizing the danger, it's hard to die. Mizuki said that on the night of the genocide, besides Itachi, there was also Obito. Since I am the enemy of the genocide, then I will take revenge today. Madness flashed across Sasuke's face. The other party is elusive. We must find his traces first. That Uzumaki has the sentient ninjutsu Kagura hard eye, but the way she looked at me and the tone of her voice when she took the initiative to chat with me. Forget it, let's find Hyuga Neji, the Byakugan is better. There is no woman in my heart, so I draw my sword to the god of nature. The great revenge has not been avenged, and Sasuke's heart cannot tolerate love. Naruto's parents were also killed by Obito. If you want to hunt Obito, call Naruto together. He quickly went out and separated into two shadow clone, one to call Naruto, one to find Hyuga Neji, and the main body to inform Mizuki. Outside Phoenix Village, Obito emerged from the soil. Although he didn't kill Mizuki and didn't capture Naruto, he captured Sasuke, which wasn't too bad. At least, you don't have to leave empty-handed. At this time, he hadn't realized that Sasuke was not in Kamui's space at all. Time to go. Izanagi's duration is about to end, and something could happen if he doesn't leave. Mizuki's pupil technique is too dangerous. If he encounters danger again, he has no choice but to sacrifice his right eye, Obito's original Sharingan. This is no joke. He exited the hollow state, activated Kamui, and wanted to suck himself into the Kamui space and leave here. At this moment, a voice suddenly shouted from behind, "Hold the pen and drag." Obito's body trembled. Kamui terminated. Is this haunting voice hers? Did Mizuki resurrect her too? He didn't turn to look. Although my heart is full of expectations, I am still more afraid. At this moment, Obito thought of what he had done over the years, and was suddenly afraid of facing Lin. If she asks me, how should I answer? Obito panicked. Just as he was hesitating, Izanagi's duration expired. The alternating power of illusion and reality that enveloped him completely dissipated. Obito, you were defeated by a woman after all. Hearing the sound, Obito's expression changed and he immediately wanted to hollow, but it was too late. The chakra in the body is out of control, and all ninjutsu, illusions, and bloodline limits cannot be used. Gao Yuhanming has enveloped him again. Obito turned around and looked at Mizuki with no regrets on his face. Everything I do is for Lin. So, even if I know that you transformed into Lin and lied to me, I am still willing. Just die. It's a pity that I wanted to create a world where Lin will always be there, but now this dream is shattered. With all abilities disabled, Obito knows there is no hope of escape. Therefore, he openly admitted his identity and no longer used the Uchiha Madara vest. He was going to die anyway, so he had to be strong before he died. Mizuki put away the crystal ball in his hand and looked at Obito calmly. Advertisement third generation's telescope technique is still very practical. It is very convenient to be able to monitor the whole village while sitting at home. Every move Obito makes is seen by Mizuki. He waited until Obito's Izanagi was over before he took action again. Just now, he had already conducted experiments on Sasuke. After Sasuke is shrouded in high soul life, Sasuke cannot cast Izanagi. From this, Mizuki knew that Obito had cast Izanagi in advance before attacking him. Is this all for Lin? In that case, do you know that Lin's parents died in the Nine Tails Rebellion 12 years ago? As ordinary people in the village, when Nine Tails appeared, they didn't even have a chance to escape. Obito yelled. I said, everything I did was for Lin, what does the life and death of other people have to do with me? Then he changed the subject and said, Mizuki, you are also a rebel ninja of Konoha. Did you kill too few people? Didn't any innocent people die when you caused explosions in Konoha? Even your fiancée was killed by you, didn't she die for you? You and I are just the same kind of people. What qualifications do you have to accuse me here? Mizuki was speechless. Well, I'm not Naruto, so I don't know how to talk. Yes, my own hands are not clean and stained with the blood of innocent people, so I really have no right to blame Obito. Okay, I'm not qualified, so let someone with qualifications speak out. In the darkness, a figure stepped out. Although the face was shrouded in darkness and it was impossible to see the details, the familiar hairstyle and the haunting figure made Obito immediately confirm that this was Lin. The one eye under the mask had a trembling pupil. Hold the pen and drag it, you have worked hard these years. Lin's voice was gentle. At this moment, all the hatred and hostility in Obito's heart quickly dissipated like morning mist under the rays of the morning sun. In a blink of an eye, the sky is clear and the air is clear. He has confirmed that the person in front of him is the real Lin, and no one can pretend to be her. Mizuki really brought Lin back to life. The purpose is to hold back Obito at the last moment and prevent him from leaving. Lin. Thousands of words are choked in my throat, and I can't say a word. Lin walked up to Obito, took off Obito's mask, and looked at Obito's face quietly, also without saying a word. The two of them just stared at each other. At this moment, time seems to have become eternity. Mizuki was aside and did not disturb the two of them, but soon, the tranquility was broken. Sasuke, Naruto, Kushina and others arrived. Obito, it's really you. Kushina's eyes were full of confusion. He didn't understand why Obito became like this. Why did such a kind kid start the Nine Tails Rebellion? Why was the Uchiha clan destroyed? Obito looked at Naruto and the others and said calmly, I did everything by myself and had nothing to do with Lin. If you want revenge, just come at me. After I die, I ask you to be kind to Lin. She is innocent. Sasuke's eyes were blood red and he yelled hoarsely, innocent? The Uchiha clan, from old to young, even babies in their infancy, why don't you say they're innocent? Tell me, what does it mean to be innocent? How many innocent people have you killed just because of her? You actually said she was innocent, why do you have that? Obito wanted to say something, but Lin reached out and covered his mouth. She turned around, looked at everyone, and bowed deeply. Advertisement. Everything I did with the pen and mop was because of me. I am the culprit for the harm Obito caused to you. So, I am willing to use my life to repay some of Obito's mistakes. Obito said loudly. Lin, you are innocent. You finally came back to life. You can't die again. He looked at Sasuke and others and said, Lin is innocent. Lin died long before the Nine Tails Rebellion. Everything I did has nothing to do with Lin. You can't kill her. Lin turned to look at Obito and said with a smile, hold the pen and drag it. Don't be afraid. I am already dead, but I am just dying again. I'm used to it in the Pure Land, but you won't be used to it at first. So I want to share everything with you and go down there with you so that you won't be alone. A trace of unbearability flashed in Naruto's eyes, but Sasuke's face was filled with murderous intent. Mizuki said nothing. He had no grudge against Obito. If he had any grudge, Obito came to kill him today, which was considered a grudge. But he was not harmed, either physically or mentally. So, strictly speaking, he has no grudge against Obito. He left Obito's fate to Naruto and Sasuke. As for Lin, looking at the look of death on her face, she probably doesn't want to live. She really wanted to die, and Mizuki wouldn't stop her. Although chakra and life force were wasted to resurrect Lin, these can be made up for. Naruto, you deal with this woman, Obito leaves it to me. Sasuke is signed. Naruto looked at Lin and didn't move. Sasuke, I can't kill her. She is innocent. Instead of blaming Naruto, Sasuke was happy. In that case, I will kill both of them. Now I will avenge the innocent victims of the Uchiha clan. Although these two lives are far from enough, this is the first step in my revenge. Everyone except Mizuki frowned at Sasuke's words. This is a person who is completely dominated by hatred. Such a person is very dangerous. Naruto looked at Sasuke, frowning slightly, not knowing what he was thinking. Go to hell. Sasuke roared angrily, holding the Rasengan in his hand, and moved in front of Lin like a gust of wind. The Rasengan in his hand hit Lin hard in the back of the heart. No, Obito looked at Lin, whose mouth was bleeding, and roared angrily. Lin raised her hand tremblingly, touched Obito's face, and said, hold the pen and mop, don't be angry, this is of my own free will. I'll wait for you below, this time, I won't be alone. After saying that, Lin closed her eyes. Witnessing Lin's death again, Obito thought he could accept it calmly, but when it came to the end, he found that he couldn't accept it. Obito also closed his eyes. He was angry, desperate, and wanted to do something. Emotional changes so intense that words cannot describe them cause violent fluctuations in mental power. Mizuki's expression, which had been staring at Obito with his left eye, suddenly changed. He discovered that there were cracks in the high soul life that enveloped Obito. How is this going? At this moment, all the huge spiritual power in Obito's mind poured into his left eye. The three sides in Obito's eyes began to spin rapidly. The terrifying pupil power began to be born. Mizuki's expression changed drastically and he shouted, no, kill him quickly. As he spoke, Mizuki also moved, and apparated in front of Obito. The Rinnegan human world ability was activated to extract Obito's soul. But when he put his hand on Obito's head, it came up empty. It passed through Obito's body. Damn, he actually succeeded. How can this be? At this time, everyone saw that Obito's one eye was no longer Sharingan. But, Rinnegan, Chapter 102, Target from Sage of Six Paths. Mizuki was very confused. Although Obito has Hashirama cells and Sharingan in his body, even if the two are combined, it will never be possible to activate the Rinnegan. Without Ashura and Indra's chakra, Sharingan cannot evolve into Rinnegan. Even Uchiha Madara, after transplanting Hashirama cells, only activated Rinnegan when he was old and dying. How can Obito be so good? This situation happened to Sasuke in the anime. After Sasuke is killed by Madara, he encounters the Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Hagoromo in the conscious world. Hagoromo gave Sasuke the yin power of six paths and helped Sasuke open the one-eyed Rinnegan. This has to make Mizuki suspect that Sage of Six Paths intervened when Obito opened Rinnegan. Sage of Six Paths has no reason to do this. Could it be that the Infinite Tsukuyomi plan and Sage of Six Paths are the real masterminds behind it? Or maybe Sage of Six Paths knows that I am not a native of the ninja world, so it strengthens Obito and wants to kill me? Mizuki was puzzled. But the top priority is to deal with Obito, not Sage of Six Paths. Kushina, help! In fact, there is no need for Mizuki to greet him. Kushina has already taken action. The iron rope emerged from her body and enveloped Obito. Space blockade. Obito took a deep look at Lin's body and said coldly, "You are treating Lin like this, I will not let you go. Just wait, when I fully master the new power, I will come back and kill you all. None of you can escape." After saying that, his body sank into the ground. He kept hollow. Kushina's space blockade was not completed, and no one could stop him. I can only watch him leave. In fact, Obito wanted to take Lin's body away with him, but in order to do so, he had to materialize the body first. He doesn't dare. Mizuki looked gloomy, but there was nothing he could do. Even if he takes action in advance, there is a high probability that he will not be able to kill Obito. Sage of Six Paths is watching in secret. No matter what Mizuki does, the result will not change. What is Sage of Six Paths doing this for? Hundreds of meters in the air, an old man in white sits cross-legged in the void. He is born with twin horns. He is none other than Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Hagoromo. He sat down, and 9 truth-seeking balls formed a circle and floated quietly. Birds flew past him and even passed through him. He is ethereal and cannot be seen by the naked eye. Not even Mizuki's Rinnegan can see him. He quietly watched what was happening below, and sighed after seeing Obito leave. The ninja world is about to face an unprecedented challenge, and the Otsutsuki clan will come again. Until then, the ninja world needs someone to protect it. He looked at Sasuke and Naruto with a hint of tenderness in his eyes. The reincarnations of Indra and Ashura, only the two of them have the power to save the ninja world. But if they want to realize their potential, and if they want to be strong enough to become enemies of the Otsutsuki clan, they need pressure and the tempering of their enemies. Madara's infinite Tsukuyomi plan is the best whetstone. So, Obito cannot die. This is why Sage of Six Paths stepped in. He had a long-term view and saw the future tribulations of the ninja world. He felt that Obito could not die, so he helped Obito activate the Rinnegan. The development of things is very different from what was expected. All changes are because of this person. Advertisement. He set his sights on Mizuki. He looked at it carefully, and the more he looked, the more intense his frown became. In Gamamaru's prophecy, this person should not exist as the main line of development of the ninja world. His appearance has completely disrupted the development of the ninja world. Even I can't see the future clearly. His talent is even better than Indra's, and he can develop various ninjutsu to a whole new level. The earthly resentment of Taki Ninja Village was in his hands, and it was developed to the point where it could absorb the vitality of plants, giving him eternal life. After Izanagi of the Uchiha clan was improved by him, the side effects were greatly reduced. Sage of Six Paths all admire Mizuki. He can't even do this kind of ability to improve ninjutsu. In other words, he has never seen anyone who can improve ninjutsu at will like Mizuki. It is simply an inhuman existence. It's a pity that his soul aura is very strange and he was not born on this planet at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to plan so much for the ninja world. Not a member of the Otsutsuki clan, not even a descendant of the Otsutsuki clan, yet able to activate Sharingan and Rinnegan. Where did this person come from? At this time, Sage of Six Paths was filled with doubts. He couldn't see through Mizuki's origins. I can't see through everything about Mizuki. Mizuki seemed to be shrouded in a layer of fog, blocking his further exploration. Although they can't see through Mizuki, Sage of Six Paths doesn't feel that Mizuki is a good person. No matter what, if he can activate Sharingan and Rinnegan, he must have something to do with the Otsutsuki clan. So we can't continue to let him do whatever he wants. It's a pity that I'm dead and can no longer take action. The only thing I can do now is to isolate some connections between the Pure Land and the mortal world so that he can no longer resurrect the dead through Rinnegan. After saying that, Sage of Six Paths took action. I saw his hands forming seals, a strange aura emanating from his body, and there seemed to be some kind of change in the world. After doing this, Sage of Six Paths' already illusory body became even more illusory. Hey, every time I interfere with the present world, my existence time will be shortened. It seems that I can't hold on much longer. Below, Mizuki suddenly reached out to cover his right eye and let out a painful groan. Master, what's wrong with you? Naruto asked concerned. Blood flowed from the corner of Mizuki's right eye and overflowed from the gap between his fingers. Hateful. He clearly felt that Rinnegan was restricted and the Rinne Tensei technique had lost its effect. Damn Otsutsuki Hagoromo, for targeting me. Without being able to resurrect the dead, his plan to expand Phoenix Village would be greatly affected. He really couldn't figure out what Sage of Six Paths meant. Even if he sent Obito Rinnegan as a gift, he actually limited his own Rinnegan's ability. Why don't you just kill me? Mizuki roared in his heart. He didn't know that it wasn't that Sage of Six Paths didn't want to kill him, but that it simply didn't have the ability to kill him. Master, your eyes are bleeding. Were you injured just now? Naruto asked. Mizuki shook his head and said, Don't worry, it's just that I used my eyes too much and my pupil power was consumed a little more. He sighed and said, Obito activated the Rinnegan, and his space ninjutsu became even weirder. Before leaving, he threatened to take revenge on us, so everyone should be more careful in the future. Mizuki wasn't too worried about Obito. Although Obito has the Rinnegan, his pupil power is higher than the Eternal Sharingan's pupil power, and he can ignore his high soul life. Advertisement however, Mizuki is not a mediocre person standing still. When the system's return opportunities are refreshed next month, his strength will increase even further. When the time comes, just focus on Obito. Rinnegan is higher than Sharingan, right? Well, I will also upgrade my left eye to Rinnegan, and then use Rinnegan to release high soul life. Kamui Hollow is invincible, you can come and go as you please, right? Okay, I'll learn Kushina's space seal and seal the space. Let's see what you do with Hollow. That night, Mizuki didn't sleep. He was sitting alone in Funging's office, with a crystal ball on the table and the technique telescope always on. He was afraid that Obito would make a comeback. He is not worried about Naruto and Sasuke. One has Flying Thunder God and the other has Izanagi. Obito cannot take them away. He was worried about the rest of the village. Until dawn, Obito did not appear again, but Mizuki felt that this was not possible. You can only be a thief for 1,000 days, but you can't guard against a thief for 1,000 days. Phoenix Village needs a barrier, a large sensory barrier. Once the enemy breaks in, they can be discovered immediately. It's definitely not possible for him to keep watch all night alone. It would be much more convenient if there was a barrier. As long as a strange chakra breaks in, an early warning will be detected immediately. That way Obito won't be able to break into the village quietly. The scroll I brought back from Konoha contains the method of arranging the barrier, but there are loopholes in Konoha's barrier, and Obito knows it. Mizuki has not done any research on the barrier, so although he knows that there are loopholes in the Konoha barrier, he has no way to modify it. The best way is to improve the barrier. It seems that I need to go to Konoha again. Konoha also has two disciples of its own, Xiao Li and Xiao Sakura. He didn't want to have much to do with these two people, but now, he couldn't help but go. However, once I leave and Obito comes, the people in the village will be in danger. In that case, let's send them out before I leave. The ninja world is so big, and it's not easy for Obito to find someone. He thought for a moment and made a decision. In the bear country next door, there is a star ninja village, and there are some people in the village. There is no need for such a small village to exist. It is best to merge the village and its people into Fenghuang village. Leave this task to them. Moreover, the meteor in Star Ninja Village has a very special effect, and the peacock magic in Star Ninja Village is also very practical. Although the side effects of that meteorite are very strong, after the system returns them, that won't necessarily be the case. After making the decision, Mizuki gathered everyone together and conveyed his thoughts. After listening, everyone had different expressions. Tsunade spoke loudest. Annexing the Star Ninja Village? This is absolutely not allowed. Mizuki, do you know that the original Uchiha Madara was the same as the current one? He also wanted to unify the ninja world, but it turns out that his idea was wrong. Peace in the ninja world can never be achieved by force. The lessons history has taught us are profound. Mizuki shook his head. Tsunade, do you know what the ninja world will face? Do you think that what I did was just for peace in the ninja world? I'm telling you, not at all. Tsunade asked, what exactly do you mean? Mizuki sighed and said, there are some things that I should let you know. Today I will take this opportunity to tell you about the strongest race in the universe, the Otsutsuki clan. I hope you won't be too depressed after listening to this. Chapter 103. Mizuki's ambition. People of the Otsutsuki clan don't need to practice, they are born with great strength. They search for life planets in the universe, and after finding them, they plant a sacred tree on the planet. The growth process of the sacred tree will absorb all the life force on the planet and bear the fruit of the sacred tree. So, the arrival of the Otsutsuki clan means the withering of the living planet. Mizuki's words attracted everyone's attention. Even Naruto, a lazy guy who didn't pay attention in class, didn't desert. Thousands of years ago, Otsutsuki Ashiki and Otsutsuki Kagaya came to our planet and planted the sacred tree. Later, Otsutsuki Kagaya ate the fruit of the sacred tree and became the ancestor of Chakra, known as the goddess of Mao. Since then, Chakra has been officially born in the ninja world. Naruto asked curiously, what about Otsutsuki Ashiki? Mizuki replied, if the sacred tree wants to bear fruit, it needs Otsutsuki tribesmen as a living sacrifice for the sacred tree to swallow. This is why, after the Otsutsuki clan finds a new planet of life, two people will always come together, one is the guardian and one is the protected. Guardians are used to make sacrifices. The fruits of the sacred tree are eaten by the guardians. Naruto was stunned. It turns out that Otsutsuki Ashiki was a guardian. Was he sacrificed? No, Mizuki shook his head. Kagaya is the guardian, but she was unwilling to accept her fate, so she attacked Ichiki in a sneak attack, seriously injured her, and used Ichiki's body as a sacrifice to be swallowed by the sacred tree. At this time, Tsunade asked, you just said that the sacred tree needs to swallow all the life force on the planet in order to bear fruit. Since Kagaya ate the fruit, why wasn't the ninja world destroyed? Mizuki explained, because what Kagaya ate was not the ripe fruit of the sacred tree. In fact, the sacred tree only swallowed half of Ashiki's body. As a result, the sacred tree was not fully developed, and it was not effective in devouring the life force of the ninja world, and the fruits it produced were not mature enough. Tsunade asked again, did Kagaya leave the ninja world after eating the fruit of the sacred tree? Mizuki shook his head. Since then, Kagaya has ruled the ninja world and used the sacred tree to make people into white Zetsu. White Zetsu is a humanoid creature. Kagaya was afraid that the Otsutsuki clan would seek revenge on her, so she made white Zetsu to use as a weapon of war. Everyone is curious, what does white Zetsu look like? Well, this is hard to describe in detail, but there happens to be a white Zetsu sneaking around outside the village. I'll catch it and show it to you. Mizuki looked into the distance through the window. On a tree outside the village, a white Zetsu only exposed half of his head on the surface of the tree trunk, his eyes fixed on the direction of the village. In fact, he is not the only white Zetsu around the village, they are all staring at Phoenix Village. I really want to go into the village, find a toilet, and observe the whole process of human defecation. But Obito asked us to monitor the village from the outside to prevent Mizuki from sneaking away and losing sight of his people. It's a pity, he was talking to himself, but he didn't realize that the big tree he was hiding in was withering at a speed visible to the naked eye. But when he realized something was wrong, the tree was completely dead. When the wind blew, the trunk turned into powder and was blown away. What's happening here? Before he could react, he felt a pain in the back of his neck and passed out. Mizuki brought white Zetsu in front of everyone and said, "This is white Zetsu. You just have to look at it first. There are still some near the village. I will go and take care of them all." He continued to take action, and with the help of TNU, he quietly killed more than a dozen white Zetsu. Advertisement: they are all clones of white Zetsu, but they are enough to foresee Obito's dangerous thoughts. Back at the Phoenix Tower, Mizuki continues to tell stories. He explained the Hagoromo and Hamura brothers' sealing of Kagaya, the true appearance of the sacred tree, and the origins of the nine-tailed beasts, one by one. After listening, everyone didn't come back to their senses for a long time. They were all shocked by what Mizuki said. It's fake. Everyone couldn't believe it, but Mizuki said he had noses and eyes, and even caught white Zetsu as evidence, leaving them speechless. Naruto thought of something and sank his consciousness into the sealed space. Hey, Stinky Fox, your name is Kurama? Were you born after the Sage of Six Paths separated from 10 Tails? Is what my master said true? Nine Tails was also shocked by what Mizuki said, but this time it didn't say anything bad to Naruto. Otsutsuki Kagaya, the fruit of the sacred tree, 10 Tails or something, I don't know. But I know that the name of Sage of Six Paths is Otsutsuki Hagoromo, and my name is indeed Kurama. Naruto, who got part of the answer, immediately left the conscious space. Nine Tails has confirmed part of it, but not even it knows about the rest. At this time, everyone was 80% or 90% sure that what Mizuki said was true. Seeing that everyone was almost convinced, Mizuki continued the previous topic. The Otsutsuki Ashiki is not dead yet, and he will come out to cause trouble sooner or later. Other members of the Otsutsuki clan will also come to the ninja world and bring disaster to the ninja world. Therefore, the ninja world can no longer be internally divided and must concentrate its strength to meet the challenges of the future. This is why I want to annex other ninja villages. Only by combining the resources, strength, and wisdom of the entire ninja world into one can we have the power to fight against the Otsutsuki clan. Mizuki said so much, of course it was an excuse. An excuse to unify the ninja world and establish himself as the king of the ninja world. Originally, he had no ambitions. In his previous life, he was an ordinary person. He went to an ordinary university and after graduation, he entered an ordinary company and became an ordinary employee. The lofty ambitions I made when I was young have long since faded away. But after coming to the ninja world, he encountered various crises, challenges, and dangers. His fighting spirit was slowly aroused. As a time traveler, obscurity is a sin. You must do something earth-shattering to be worthy of your status as a time traveler. Unifying the ninja world is only the first step. Unifying the universe is his ultimate dream. Tsunade said, "Even so, I still don't think it's good that you want to unify the ninja world. Once a war is triggered, the ninja world will be plunged into endless war. By then, the ninja world will have declined before the Otsutsuki clan comes. The cruelty of war is unimaginable." Kushina, Hyuga Hazashi and others also nodded in agreement with Tsunade's statement. I also think it's unrealistic. Even Zabuza, a murderous maniac, felt that Mizuki's idea was not feasible. Mizuki frowned. Advertisement: everyone disagrees with my idea, and if it is forcibly implemented, the effect will definitely not be good. Forget it, let's take this matter slowly, there is no need to rush it. But they have to leave the village. He is about to go to Konoha. If Obito comes, the rest of them will be no match. He had gone through a lot of hard work to gather this team of people, but he couldn't let Obito go to waste. So he said bluntly, "I have to leave the village to do something. If I'm not here, if Obito comes, you will all be in danger. So, except for Naruto and Sasuke, none of you can stay in the village until I come back." Naruto has the Flying Thunder God, who can come and go with ease and is not afraid of Obito. Sasuke doesn't have to be afraid of Obito since he has Izanagi. The same cannot be said for the others. When encountering Obito, only one of them will die. Rinnegan is so powerful that no ordinary person can withstand it. Not to mention them, even Mizuki has no way to restrain Obito now. If Obito really comes, there's really nothing Mizuki can do against him. Kamui's hollow is too unsolvable. Although Kushina's space blockade can restrain Kamui, the casting time is too long, and Obito ran out before the blockade was completed. That's why Mizuki is anxious to go to Konoha to meet Xiao Li and Xiao Sakura. Everyone frowned, and Tsunade said, "This won't work. If every time you leave in the future, we have to leave the village to avoid Obito, then Phoenix Village will never develop." Mizuki said, "I went out this time to find a way to restrain Obito. Once I find a way, I won't have to worry about it in the future." Tsunade nodded and said, "I know there is a relatively hidden place at the junction of Birdfire and Wind Country. People who have never been there can't find it. I will take everyone to hide there." Mizuki said to Naruto, "You have the Flying Thunder God, just stay in the village and use Shadow Clone to turn into everyone's appearance. Sasuke, you also stay in the village. Your chakra control is almost up to standard. I will teach you the apparition technique in a moment. You can practice it well." Next, Mizuki asked for a space blockade from Kushina, and then Tsunade took most of the people and left at night. The surrounding white Zetsu clones had been cleared by Mizuki, and their departure was very subtle. At least Obito has no idea. Naruto used Shadow Clone to take on everyone's appearance, and everything in the village seemed normal. Before Mizuki left, he taught Sasuke how to apparate. After a few more instructions, Mizuki left, heading to Konoha as quickly as possible. Hey, it's really not easy to worry about every day. It's so late at night, I can't even get a good night's sleep. In an underground cave dozens of miles away from Phoenix Village, Obito is adapting to Rinnegan's abilities. Suddenly he stopped and looked at White Zetsu who had just emerged from the ground. "Ju, what's the news?" White Zetsu said. "All the clones I arranged around Phoenix Village were killed, but there was news from the country of rain that someone was flying through the sky. The Akatsuki organization has strengthened its vigilance at high altitudes." Oh, Obito was surprised. Mizuki actually left Phoenix Village? This is really good news. In that case, I'll go to Phoenix Village for a walk. This time, I'm going to kill them all. Chapter 104. Big Harvest Tonight. Obito came outside Phoenix Village again, but when he was about to enter the village, he hesitated. The atmosphere is wrong. It was so relaxing, there was no tension at all. Could it be a scam? His mind began to beat. Logically speaking, having just experienced his own attack, shouldn't Fenghuang Village be in a state of panic and everyone should be on guard? Are all the people in this village crazy? No, what am I afraid of? Mizuki has many and weird tricks. When I didn't have Rinnegan, I really couldn't beat him. But now that I have Rinnegan, his Sharingan Eye technique no longer threatens me. I'm not afraid of him at all. Don't say he's not here, even if he is here, why should I be afraid? Emboldened, Obito no longer hesitated. He hollows his body, dives underground, and heads to Nobita's residence. Naruto will Flying Thunder God, I'll have a hard time catching him. And Sasuke seems to have some means that I don't know about. He was clearly sucked into the Kamui space by me before, but I don't know how he escaped. It's a bit like Izanagi, but neither of his eyes is blind. Be safe and leave the two of them to the end. Soon he arrived in Nobita's room. At this time, Naruto's Shadow Clone transformed into Nobita, already lying on the bed and falling asleep. Let me in. This Rinnegan is not exactly a gift from Sage of Six Paths. At that time, Obito's mood swings were too great, and his burst of mental power reached ultimate, so Sage of Six Paths gave him a push. Sasuke's situation is completely different from that in the anime. Perhaps it was his strong will that was at work, so that his pupil technique, Kamui, was still retained. And after the evolution of Kamui, the effect is even stronger. Absorbing objects or people into Kamui space is faster and has a larger range. In addition, the duration of hollow has been increased from the previous 5 minutes to 20 minutes. Well, Sister Nan's 600 billion detonating talismans can only explode for 10 minutes, so they no longer pose a threat to Obito. At least twice as much. Nobita was sucked into the Kamui space while he was still sleeping. First, he just absorbed Nobita into the Kamui space and didn't attack Nobita, so he didn't realize that the one he sucked in was just a shadow clone. Immediately afterwards, he absorbed Sai, Shin, Neji, and Hizashi, one after another. 5 people were taken away and Obito was very happy. Today, I will turn this village into a deserted place of death. He came to Shang Phosphorus' house, walked to Shang Phosphorus' bed and sucked Shang Phosphorus away. At this moment, he suddenly felt that his ankles were cold, as if they were wet. He looked down and saw that his calf was wrapped in a transparent liquid like water. These liquids seemed to be alive, spreading up Obito's legs in a manner that defied gravity. He also clearly felt that these liquids were drilling into his body, and wherever they went, something in his body was rapidly draining away. What the hell is this? Suddenly, he saw that the back of his hand was aging rapidly, with wrinkles increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye. Obito panicked. He quickly took off his mask and looked in the mirror. Sure enough, his face was also aging. Advertisement. This thing absorbs life force. What the hell is this? Hollow. Obito immediately entered the hollow state, but the liquid, like his clothes, also entered the hollow state with his body and continued to wrap around him. I don't believe I can't get rid of you, Shinra Tenjung. Although he had just acquired the Rinnegan, he already mastered the Shinra Tensai. A powerful repulsive force erupted from his body, and the liquid on his body was instantly emptied and spread everywhere. But Obito didn't feel safe anymore because the fluid in his body couldn't be drained out of his body. What kind of poison is this? By the way, Tsunade is the only one in Phoenix Village who knows medical ninjutsu. She must have prepared this poison. It's still too late for me to get the antidote from her. With that he was off to find Tsunade. But the next moment, a familiar voice sounded from within him. Stop struggling, Obito, this is not poison. I was lucky enough to let you escape last time, but this time, you're dead.
Obito was surprised. Mizuki. Didn't you leave? Why are you still here?
Also, what kind of underworld ninjutsu are you doing? Mizuki smiled and said, if I didn't fly over Rain Shinobi village so arrogantly, how could you dare to enter the village and arrest people so arrogantly? As for the ninjutsu, you don't need to know. You're going to die soon anyway. Obito immediately shouted. You can't kill me. If you kill me, the 6 people I captured will be dead. I locked them in a closed space with no food or drink, and only I can take people in and out. You release me, and I will release the 6 of them to you. Mizuki said indifferently. Oh, it's up to you. They're all Naruto's shadow clones anyway. What? I have to say that the shadow clone ninjutsu is really buggy. Not to mention Obito, not even Otsutsuki Kagaya can see the difference between the original body and shadow clone. Byakugan, Sharingan, and Rinnegan can't tell which one is the original one. Only Uchiha Madara can tell at a glance whether the Naruto in front of him is his true form or a shadow clone. At this time, Obito's heart exploded when he heard that the 6 people he captured were all Naruto's shadow clone. But he didn't have time to regret why he hadn't been more careful now. Because he felt that others were almost gone. He in the mirror is too old to look at. Madara, who relied on the ghetto statue to extend her life, is not even that old. I can't die, I still want to avenge Lin. At this moment, he burst out with a strong desire to survive. Come out, otherwise, I will die with you. After saying this, he activated Kamui to suck himself into the Kamui space. Mizuki was shocked and called him a good guy. If he followed Obito into the Kamui space, if Obito died, he would be trapped in it and never want to get out. Then it's really fun. Stop, 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 I'll be cruel to you. The space suction stopped immediately. Obito doesn't want to die either. But he kept an eye on it and did not terminate Kamui. The entrance to the space was still open and he could enter at any time. Come out quickly, I'll lose 3 numbers, 3, 2. Come out, open your mouth, I will come out of your mouth. Obito's face was gloomy, his mouth was slightly open, and transparent liquid spilled from the corner of his mouth. The scene was very disgusting for a time. Advertisement. As soon as the last drop of liquid came out, Obito immediately restarted Kamui, and the suction pulled him towards the Kamui space. Just then, the last bit of liquid suddenly turned into a hand. Before Obito could react, his eyeballs were taken away. Ah, Mizuki, you were cheating. Amidst the screams, Obito entered the Kamui space, and the space vortex disappeared immediately. The liquid formed by the heavenly resentment reaggregated, including the ones that Obito had previously used to break away with the Shinra Tensei. Soon, Mizuki returned to his original appearance. He looked at the eyeballs he held in his right hand and looked happy. Get a Rinnegan and give it to Naruto or Sasuke when it arrives next month. I'll send it out after it's returned. As for Obito, his eyes are gone, so the pupil technique will naturally be useless. If nothing else happens, he will be trapped and die in the Kamui space. Having captured Rinnegan and killed Obito, tonight was a great harvest. It's true that my plan was not in vain. After sending Tsunade and the others away, he sent Shadow Clone to leave the village and deliberately flew over Rain Shinobi village. Sure enough, Obito got the news and came. Mizuki's true body is still in the village, turned into liquid, hiding in Shanglin's house, tightly hidden under the wooden floor. When Obito entered the room and began to devour the fragrant phosphorus on the bed, his body detached from the hollow. Mizuki took the opportunity to flow onto his feet and crawl up his legs. I really think that Kamui is invincible. I don't know if I could replace the Sharingan that blinded my left eye with another one. That way I can still use Izanagi to save my life. He took out a reagent bottle and put Rinnegan in it. Just then, Naruto and Sasuke both arrived. Obito's Shinra Tensei, although he had just mastered it, was not very powerful, but it also destroyed Shanglin's house and caused quite a stir. Master, didn't you leave? And what happened here? Naruto was full of doubts. Mizuki smiled and said, I have killed Obito. Go and inform your mother that they can come back. Yeah? Naruto was surprised. Master, when did it happen? Why did Obito say it was gone? At this time, Naruto's shadow clone has not been released yet, so he doesn't know what happened. Sasuke said, did he die? What a pity. It's a pity that he didn't kill Obito himself to avenge his tribe. Kushina had the flying thunder god mark set by Naruto. He disappeared in a flash and came back with Kushina soon after. His current flying thunder god can only take one person with him at a time. As for the others, they just worked harder and walked back by themselves. Before everyone could come back, Mizuki left, this time in his true form, heading for Konoha. When Obito entered Phoenix Village, he felt like he was in an uninhabited land. This reminded Mizuki that some measures must be taken. At least, Phoenix Village is a barrier. It is best to have a multifunctional and powerful barrier that integrates early warning, isolation, attack, and defense. So the system must come out to work. Outside the village, Z waited left and right, but didn't see Obito coming out, so he got a little anxious. What's going on? Why haven't you come out yet? Suddenly, he saw a figure flying into the air in the village. The figure was very clear in the moonlight, and you knew it was Mizuki without even looking closely. How could it be? Didn't Mizuki leave before? Ju's expression changed drastically. At this moment, he realized that Obito was probably gone. He was unwilling to give in and waited for a while. It was already past the agreed time, but Obito still didn't come to join him. Is Obito, who owns the Rinnegan, also dead? Where did this Mizuki come from? Why would an ordinary Chunin from Konoha be so powerful? Is it the reincarnation of Hagoromo or Hamura? Chapter 105. Mizuki is the larva of the sacred tree? High in the sky, the chakra body of Sage of Six Paths appears again. This Mizuki's methods are really weird. That kind of technique that invades the human body and absorbs life force after liquefaction is very similar to the ability of the sacred tree. Sage of Six Paths had doubts in his heart. When I was young, I heard my mother say that the Otsutsuki clan would bring the larva of the sacred tree to the living planet, and let the larva of the sacred tree devour the life force of the entire planet. When they grow up, they will bear the fruits of the sacred tree. The Otsutsuki clan will evolve after eating the fruits of the sacred tree. Powerful. Mom didn't say what the larva of the sacred tree looked like, but from the 10 tails we can see that the larvae of the sacred tree are living creatures that can move. Thinking of this, Sage of Six Paths had an idea in his mind. Could it be that Mizuki is a wild sacred tree larva? Or is he physically possessed by the larva of the sacred tree? Combined with the clue that Mizuki can swallow life force, Sage of Six Paths feels that his guess is probably correct. He used the Rinne Tensai technique several times but did not die. The reason is that he swallowed a lot of life force. He didn't care about the consumption of the Rinne Tensai technique. After sorting things out, Sage of Six Paths' worries became more and more serious. Recalling the destruction and disaster caused by the sacred tree to the earth, he felt that something must be done. My body is dead, and all that is left is my chakra body, which is an illusory spiritual existence and cannot directly participate in the battle. Besides, I'm tired of fighting. Forget it, let's discuss it with the old guy first and see if he has anything to say. He looked in the direction Mizuki left, and his body slowly dissipated. Mount Myoboku, in the temple, the great toad sage sleeps with his eyes closed. Suddenly it opened its eyes and said, "Long time no see, old friend." This old toad has clear eyes and speaks eloquently, not at all like the sleepy and confused person he usually behaves. Chakra condenses and the Sage of Six Paths appears. Yeah, long time no see. Sage of Six Paths had no intention of reminiscing with Toad, but directly stated its intention. Gamamaru, there is a new crisis reward in the ninja world, can you foresee it? The old toad frowned. A new crisis? What are you referring to? The previous prophecy has covered the next 30 years of the ninja world. Could it be that, Yuya, you already know what will happen 30 years later? Sage of Six Paths said, I seem to have discovered a new sacred tree larva. What? The big toad was shocked, are you sure? Sage of Six Paths shook his head and said, I can't be 100% sure, so I'm here to seek your help and see if your prophecy can provide any useful clues. The big toad looked solemn and said, tell me what you know quickly. Sage of Six Paths nodded. Have you heard about the phoenix village that recently appeared in the bird country? The big toad said, I heard from the little toad below that a Konoha shinobi named Mizuki killed the 3rd Hokage and the 4th Kazekage, defected and founded a new village in the kingdom of birds. Even the 9 tails Jinchuriki of Konoha village was taken away from Konoha by him. What's wrong with this Mizuki? Sage of Six Paths nods again. In fact, Mizuki died a few months ago, and his soul entered the Pure Land. The big toad frowned. Replaced by someone else's soul? Advertisement. Konoha's new Hokage, named Snake or Maru, seems to know this trick. Sage of Six Paths. Yes, the soul has been replaced, and I can conclude that the soul in Mizuki's body is foreign. Like your mother, came from an alien planet. Little did the two of them know that Mizuki was not from an alien planet at all, but from an outside world. However, even if he comes from an alien planet, he may not necessarily be from the Otsutsuki clan. Sage of Six Paths said, he is not a descendant of my blood. To awaken the Sharingan and Rinnegan, there is no other possibility except Otsutsuki. Hearing this, Gamamaru looked solemn and became serious. Indeed, Sharingan and Rinnegan are not original products of the ninja world. It was brought by the Otsutsuki clan after their arrival. Kagaya passed it on to Hagoromo, who in turn passed it on to future generations. Therefore, Sharingan and Rinnegan, tracing back to their roots, still have to return to the Otsutsuki bloodline. This is enough to prove that Mizuki and Otsutsuki are definitely related. The name has the word, Mu, in it. Who would believe it if it doesn't matter? But what makes me conclude that he is the larva of the sacred tree is another piece of evidence. Gamamaru asked. What evidence? Sage of Six Paths said in a heavy tone. He masters the method of devouring life force. Are you sure? Gamamaru's voice suddenly increased. This time it was really shocked. At this point, like Sage of Six Paths, it believes that Mizuki is the larva of the sacred tree. Isn't it a sacred tree that can swallow up life force? When Otsutsuki Ashiki and Otsutsuki Kagaya came to the ninja world, they planted sacred trees. The roots of the trees spread to every corner of the planet, and even Mount Myoboku was not spared. The sight of all living creatures losing their vitality was still fresh in Gamamaru's memory. With its support, Sage of Six Paths practiced Senjutsu at Mount Myoboku, became a sage, and then had the power to seal Kagaya. The sacred tree was also divided into just a tailed beast, completely losing its thread to the ninja world. I finally chopped down the sacred tree, and now there is another sacred tree larva. Could it be that the original disaster was about to happen again? At this time, Totemaru said, Frogheart is so tired. I am already old, but I still can't enjoy my old age with peace of mind. Wait a moment, I will immediately fall into a dream and predict the future of this Mizuki and see what plans he has for the ninja world. After saying that, he closed his eyes and soon began to purr. Sage of Six Paths waited quietly. Half an hour later, Tamamaru finally woke up. Seeing Gamamaru's confused eyes, Sage of Six Paths felt something bad. But he still asked, how was it, what was the result? Gamamaru shook his head, frowned, and said nothing. Even though Sage of Six Paths has thousands of years of cultivation, it has long been as stable as an old dog, and now it is anxious. As the saying goes, the shorter the announcement, the bigger the problem. Now that you are silent, could it be that the ninja world is hopeless? Tell me what you saw, Sage of Six Paths urged. Gamamaru finally spoke. I didn't see anything. That Mizuki seems not to be in destiny. I can't see anything about his future. It was confused. It had lived for thousands of years and had never encountered such a situation. Even the original Otsutsuki Isuki, Otsutsuki Kagaya, it could see some of their future. Advertisement but Mizuki, it can't see anything. How could this happen? Sage of Six Paths was also confused. Gamamaru said, I can see the future of the sacred tree your mother and others brought. So I can conclude that this Mizuki is definitely not as simple as a sacred tree larva. His origin is definitely bigger, it advised. Hagoromo, such a person is beyond my understanding. He has not done anything too harmful to the ninja world. I think maybe we are too worried. Perhaps he has no intention of harming the ninja world? Sage of Six Paths shook his head, his eyes were firm. Gamamaru, you and I were both born in the ninja world. This is our home. Although I am dead, my chakra is still there and I am determined to protect the peace of the ninja world. I will not watch the destruction of the ninja world. Gamamaru frowned and retorted, he has not done anything detrimental to the ninja world. Sage of Six Paths. He is not yet strong enough to be fearless, maybe he is holding back. He said earnestly, Totemaru, we cannot sit back and watch the thread grow. Destroying him while he is still weak is the safest way. I would rather kill 1,000 by mistake than let one go. Even if it turns out that he was wronged, at least this is the safest thing to do. What Sage of Six Paths said makes perfect sense. Gamamaru was moved. So, what are you going to do? Sage of Six Paths, the reincarnation of Ashura, who is now Nine Tails Jinchuriki, tried to get him to come to Mount Myoboku, tell him Mizuki's true identity, and teach him Senjutsu. Gamamaru nodded, then shook his head again and said, relying on Ashura's reincarnation alone may not be of much use. No, what's going on? Gamamaru said, it seems that you want to teach them that move. That move is enough. Sage of Six Paths. I will also arrange for Indra's reincarnation. Then, when Mizuki found little Sakura's house, he found no one at home. After asking the neighbors, Mizuki was surprised by the results. Little Sakura's parents died before the Hokage building exploded. It's strange, what kind of ninjutsu can heal a comminuted fracture so quickly? Let's go find little Sakura first. Time and space will change in the future, and there may be new crises. Hey, we have to be busy again. But in this way, many things will be brought forward. Rock Lee, he has been discharged from the hospital. After receiving the news, Mizuki suddenly felt enlightened. I thought that with his talent in ninjutsu, it would take a long time to master it, but I didn't expect it to be so fast. If Xiao Li is discharged from the hospital, it will not be so easy to find him. His body recovered miraculously. I heard that he practiced some ninjutsu. It seems that Xiao Li has mastered the Earth Resentment U. Meanwhile, Mizuki had walked around Konoha and then went to the hospital. And little Sakura died during a mission. Chapter 106, on the correct use of crystal balls. Little Sakura died like this. Although, when Mizuki watched Hokage in his previous life, he hated little Sakura. Whenever little Sakura appeared, he would viciously curse, it's best if Sakura is dead. But now, when he heard that little Sakura was dead, he didn't feel happy to hear it. After all, one is a dummy in the anime, and the other is a real person with flesh and blood. It still cannot be generalized. The death of little Sakura was a bit unexpected for Mizuki. It's probably Kakashi who became the hands-off shopkeeper. In the anime, Kakashi was partial to Sasuke, gave him a month of special training, and taught him his signature ninjutsu Chidori. Naruto was dumped to Ebisu. If he hadn't met Jiraiya, he would probably be useless. As for little Sakura, she became transparent. After Sasuke defected, Naruto went out to practice with Jiraiya, and Kakashi completely ignored Team 7. Little Sakura was also lucky enough to become Tsunade's teacher. This was true in anime, and it is true now. To be honest, Kakashi is really not suitable to be a teacher. Sharingan copied thousands of ninjutsu, and in the end, Sasuke learned 1,000 birds. Even I am not as good as me. At least, what I pass on to my disciples are genuine things. Mizuki felt a little superior in his heart. At the same time, the death of little Sakura was entirely blamed on Kakashi. Forget it, just die. Without this apprentice, just find another one to replace her. Neji, Bai, Gaara, Shanlin, and Nawaki are all good seedlings. After thinking about it for a while, Mizuki felt that it would be better to choose Nawaki. After all, he is the grandson of the first generation. He has a strong foundation and is also naive. He has also awakened to the limits of wood-style bloodline. At this moment, the system suddenly said, "Host, please note that although Haruno Sakura is dead, her disciple status cannot be transferred." Close black lens bracket. What? System, are you kidding me? Everyone is dead and you are still occupying your seat. The system said, "The disciple died because you, the master, failed to fulfill your obligation to protect him. The responsibility lies entirely with you. If you want to blame, you can only blame yourself." Close black lens bracket. In this system, even a dead disciple is still a disciple and still occupies a quota. Close black lens bracket. In short, this system will not be responsible for any consequences. Close black lens bracket. What the system said made sense, but Mizuki was speechless. But he was somewhat unconvinced. Rinne Tensei technique was banned and could not resurrect Lil Sakura. As a result, he lost 3 opportunities to collect system wool every month. The loss is huge. Just wait until I can cross over yin and yang and go directly to the Pure Land to teach her ninjutsu. You don't want me to pick up the wool, do you? You are dreaming. This system is just reminding host to be more considerate to its disciples. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement, okay, I understand, please kneel down. System. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Little Sakura was gone, so Mizuki went to find Xiao Li. As a result, I searched around the village and couldn't find Xiao Li. The time is getting later and later, and there are almost no people on the street. Mizuki plans to look for it tomorrow. Let's go take a bath in a hot spring. I've been in the Hokage world for so long and I haven't enjoyed a hot spring bath yet. When he came to the hot spring hotel, he found a single hot spring pool and he soaked in it beautifully. I'm not used to being in the same pool as others. Well, it's comfortable. When Fenghuang village is almost built, we will also build a hot spring hotel. Take a dip every day and soak away all your worries. There are still many hot springs in the ninja world. When the site of Phoenix village was originally selected, Mizuki also looked over and saw that there was a hot spring valley near the village. Just as he was enjoying it, he suddenly remembered the woman's scream next door, which was also mixed with the middle-aged man's lewd and guilty smile. Mizuki knew it was Jiraiya as soon as he heard it. It's really embarrassing to the majority of men. I was caught peeping. I'm so weak. After saying that, Mizuki had a crystal ball in his hand, smiled, and was about to use the telescope technique. Be like me so you won't be discovered. At this moment, my guy's voice sounded next door. Combining work and rest, after hard training, taking a nice bath in a hot spring, this is youth. Yes, teacher Guy. This was Xiao Li's voice, which still sounded so stubborn. Then I heard Guy say, Li Yo, does it really matter to you? You have just been discharged from the hospital. Are you too anxious to undergo such high-intensity physical training? Xiao Li said loudly. It doesn't matter, teacher Guy. The secret technique I practiced not only completely healed my body, but also greatly improved my recovery ability. No matter how tired you are during training, you will soon regain your full strength after training. Guy was silent for a moment and asked, what kind of secret skill is that? I'm sorry, teacher Guy. Xiao Li apologized. The secret technique was given to me by little Sakura-chan. I promised her at that time that I would never tell anyone about it without her permission. Although little Sakura-chan has sacrificed, as a man, I must keep my promise. There was a pat on the shoulder, and Guy said, yes, that's how it should be. Keeping your promises is what youth should be like. But I want to remind you that even though you have practiced secret skills, you cannot relax in your physical skills. You, like me, have very little talent in ninjutsu and genjutsu. Only taijutsu is our ultimate pursuit. 8 inner gates, no weaker than any ninjutsu or genjutsu. Xiao Li responded loudly. Understood, teacher Guy. After saying that, the two of them got up from the hot spring pool and walked into the locker room. They had already soaked and were ready to leave. Mizuki didn't care about doing anything with the crystal ball anymore and got up from the pool and entered the locker room. When Guy and Xiao Li left, Mizuki turned into liquid and followed them quietly. Soon, Xiao Li went home alone. As soon as he entered the door, he saw an old man in a white robe with horns floating on his head. Advertisement, Grandpa, who are you? Why are you in my house? As a ninja, he had all the precautions he should have. When he saw a stranger in his home, Xiao Li's first thought was that there was a burglar. Rock Lee, I am Sage of 6 Paths. I came to you today to teach you a mission to save the ninja world. Sage of 6 Paths? Xiao Li was confused. Isn't that a legendary ancient figure? Although Xiao Li is naive, he is not stupid. The first thing he thought of was that his companions were playing tricks on him. However, the old man in front of him was floating in the air without any support below. Those friends in the village did not have this ability to fly. How do you prove you're Sage of 6 Paths? Xiao Li grasped the key point. You say you are Sage of 6 Paths, you have to prove it to me. If you can't prove it, you are a liar. I don't need to prove it, and I don't have to prove it. I said, I came to you to ask you to save the ninja world. The ninja world is about to face disaster, and only the 8 inner gates can save it. Although Might Guy can also use the 8 inner gates, he won't be able to last long after opening all the 8 gates, and he will die, which is not enough to resolve the crisis. But if you practice the secret technique of Earth Resentment, you can have up to 5 lives. If you open 8 gate, you can last 5 times as long as Guy, and you won't die after it ends. So, I just found you today. Xiao Li was shocked and asked, how do you know that the secret technique I practice is called Earth Resentment you? Haha. I am Sage of 6 Paths. I know everything that happens in the ninja world. Okay, I'm here today to teach you more. After all, relying on 8 inner gates alone is still too risky. After speaking, he took out 3 scrolls. The things recorded in these 3 scrolls will be useful to you in the future. Throw down the scroll and he disappears. Xiao Li took the scroll, still a little confused. Mizuki, who had just become Sage of 6 Paths, returned to the hot spring hotel and continued to soak. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host granted disciple Rock Lee a large-scale perception barrier layout scroll, triggering a 3,333 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you have obtained a super large sensory barrier layout scroll. Close black lens bracket. A super large sensory barrier, with a maximum range that can cover the entire planet, and can sense all life energy. There are no dead ends in the sea, land, air, or underground. No living creature can escape the perception of this barrier. Close black lens bracket. Oh, Mizuki laughed happily, the system is awesome. With this thing, Phoenix Village will not be afraid of enemies sneaking in silently. Even the White Zetsu Underground cannot escape perception. This is the first one returned, there are 2 more. System, report it quickly, Chapter 107, just a mortal, not qualified. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host granted disciple Rock Lee a space blockade cultivation scroll, triggering a 666-fold return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you have obtained the space enchantment training scroll. Close black lens bracket. The space barrier, with the caster as the center, immediately blocks the space within a radius of 66 meters, and any space ninjutsu will be ineffective. Close black lens bracket. Note. There is no distinction between friend and foe. Close black lens bracket. Although Obito is gone, Mizuki still gives the space blockade he received from Kushina to Xiao Li. Obito is not the only one who knows space ninjutsu, and we might meet him again in the future. Be prepared. It's just that there is no distinction between ourselves and the enemy, which is a bit careless. There is one last one left to return, and this one should be the most interesting. At the same time, Xiao Li was at home and had opened the first 2 scrolls. Perception barrier. Space blockade. What's the use of these for me? I don't even have the talent for ninjutsu, let alone the talent for perception and sealing. Xiao Li was full of confusion. He was a little suspicious. Sage of 6 Paths was confused. He said he was the savior, but in the end he gave him useless things for him to practice. It's like being blind. With only the last scroll left, Xiao Li had no hope, but out of politeness, he decided to open it and take a look. What is this? Ultra Instinct. Xiao Li's heart beat faster unconsciously. Although he had never heard of it, when he first saw this name, he somehow felt that it was destined to him. It's like, somehow, this thing should belong to me. He looked carefully. Ultra Instinct, a super powerful physical technique that surpasses the SSS level, a divine control technique. After you complete your training, you can kill gods. Rely on conditioned reflex movements of various parts of the body to maximize movement speed and reaction ability. The body and consciousness are separated, allowing each part of the body to transcend instinct to perceive the dangers around it, and respond directly without the brain thinking first. Xiao Li was stunned. Is this true? Does this kind of thing really exist? He opened his mouth wide in disbelief. At the same time, on Mizuki's side, the system began to return the report for the 3rd time tonight. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host granted his disciple Rock Lee the basic principles of Ultra Instinct, triggering a 3037x return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, you got advertisement. At this time, the system suddenly stopped talking. Mizuki urged. You can tell me what you get. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket. Host, please note that this refund involves God's neighborhood. Host is a mere mortal and is not eligible to receive such a high-level refund. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki. Do you think you are funny? Return it quickly, you idiot. System. If host cannot understand Mandarin, I can express it in the dialect of your hometown. Close black lens bracket. F***KU. Mizuki broke his guard. Then reset this grant return opportunity, and I will give Xiao Li a new training scroll. The system said. This return will be reserved first and will continue after the host enters the god's neighborhood. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki rolled his eyes, however, he still asked. What is the realm of God? System. This is very complicated to explain, and the host does not need to understand it in detail. Close black lens bracket. To put it simply, it is almost 100 times better than 6 Paths, so it can barely be regarded as God's neighborhood. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki sighed. Well, it's still a bit far away, there's no need to think that far ahead now. This third return is in vain for the time being. He was angry and wanted to vent his anger. At this moment, he heard Danzo's voice in the hot spring pool next door. Danzo actually came to the hot springs too. I'm so angry, but you Danzo still have the heart to enjoy a hot spring bath, it's unbearable. His body immediately liquefied and followed the hot spring water to the hot spring pool next door, covering Danzo's legs silently. He began to devour life force. Danzo leaned his head against the edge of the hot spring pool, his face slightly raised, and he closed his eyes to relax in the steaming heat. In this pool, in addition to Danzo, there are Mitokado Homura and Utatane Kaharu. 3 old classmates made an appointment to take a hot spring bath together, which was also a kind of fun. In the past, Danzo would never do such a thing. He was thinking about Konoha wholeheartedly and thinking all day long, so how could he have time to enjoy it? But Mizuki exploded the root tissue, and almost all the root ninja he had trained so hard was lost. Danzo was left alone and had no choice but to enjoy it. Danzo knows very well that his family fortune is gone, and if he still shows an attitude of being ambitious and obsessed with the position of Hokage, it will be too long for his life. How did Hitaki Tsukumo die in the first place? How was Orochimaru forced to defect? Danzo doesn't want to follow in their footsteps. Hey, Mitokado Homura sighed. The wind is gone, the mirror is gone, and Hiruzen is gone. Advertisement, at the same time, there are only 3 of us left, still hanging on. Utatane Kaharu also sighed. They all died in the battle. Only the 3 of us have no chance. As a ninja, it is really sad to die of old age. At this time Danzo suddenly asked, is the water temperature too low? Mitokado Homura and Utatane Kaharu are speechless. Speaking of serious matters, can you be more serious? The question you asked about crooked buildings is not on the same channel as us at all. The water temperature is not low, it's even hotter than before. Mitokado Homura replied angrily. Danzo frowned. But why'd I feel so cold? At this moment, Utatane Kaharu exclaimed, ah. Kaharu, what's wrong? Mizuki Homura asked. Utatane Kaharu raised his finger and pointed at Danzo, saying, picture. Danzo's face. What happened to my face? Danzo was shocked and hurriedly reached out to touch his face, and then felt the ravines all over his face. It's full of wrinkles, and if a fly lands on it, it won't be able to fly away. How so? Hinata lowered her head with a sad look on her face, and Hanabi held Hinata's hand as if to comfort her. Old guy, whoever made you bump into my gun muzzle, blame the system. It didn't swallow Danzo dry in one breath, but it only left Danzo with 3 years of life. As a result, the matter became an unsolved case. At Hyuga's house, although it was already dark, the clan mansion was brightly lit. Mizuki ran away long ago, but he did not leave Konoha immediately, but planned to trick an apprentice back. Mizuki-kun, you are really haunted. At this time, Mizuki had returned to the hot spring pool next door. Hinata, from now on, you must fulfill your responsibilities as a branch house and protect the clan even if you sacrifice yourself. Hiyoshi's 2 daughters, Hyuga Hinata and Hyuga Hanabi, were also present at the meeting. Danzo vowed never to take a hot spring bath again. Konoha immediately became alert, and the hot spring hotel was quickly surrounded by Anbu. They searched inside and outside several times. The hot spring pools were drained, but the murderer was not found. Today I officially declare that Hyuga Hanabi is the heir of the clan house, and Hyuga Hinata is demoted to the branch house. The senior officials of the Zong family and the branch house gathered here for meetings. If something happened to Danzo, Orochimaru, as a Hokage, would of course have to express his feelings, even if it was just for a show. Because he had the same experience. Hokage office, Orochimaru heard that Danzo was getting older, and it suddenly became clear to him. Come now, I'm going to lay out curse mark. Caged bird for you. Chapter 108. Naruto enters Mount Myoboku. Heishi looked serious and acted impartially, but deep in his pupils, there was a hint of helplessness. He glanced in the direction of the Hokage building and couldn't help but sigh. Hinata, don't blame the father. Originally, I planned to delay it for a few more years to let you enjoy more freedom. But the village is no longer safe. I planted caged bird for you today to protect you. Compared to the branch house, people from the clan are more dangerous because the clan's Byakugan can be taken away. Hinata walked up to Heishi, ready to accept the shackles of fate. Father. Hinata was as cautious as ever when she spoke. Yeah, Heishi nodded without saying anything more. He formed a seal with his hands and began to place a curse seal on Hinata. At this time, universal pull. The sound came from the air, and Hinata immediately seemed to be sitting on a crane, and her body flew into the air. Who? Hyuga Heishi shouted and raised his palm to hit the air. 8 trigrams air palm. 8 trigrams air palm, a move from Hyuga's gentle fist, uses the palm of the hand to release high-strength and high-density chakra blocks from the air to attack remote targets. The attack distance can reach tens of meters, and it is extremely powerful. It is very practical when combined with the Hyuga family's Byakugan. In the air, Mizuki looked at the chakra palm that hit him from a distance, raised his hand and swatted it away like a fly. Ninjutsu of this level would do no harm to him. In the anime, during Chunin's exam, the fire bullets fired by the 3rd generation on the roof were casually shot away by the 1st Hokage. Heishi looked at Mizuki in the air and Hinata, who had been caught by Mizuki, with an ugly expression. Mizuki, the Hyuga family, admit that I have not offended you. What does your feud with the third generation have to do with my Hyuga family? You took Neji away, and now you're taking away my daughter. What do you want to do? Mizuki. I took your daughter away just to save her. Curse mark. Caged bird, against human nature. Heishi said. I did this to protect her. The Byakugan is highly coveted. Without caged bird, with her strength, her eyes would be taken away, and her life would be taken away. Mizuki smiled and said, there are many excuses, but the fact is that you, as a father, do not have the strength to protect her. In that case, I will take her back to my village. In my village, her safety will be 100% guaranteed. Heishi shook his head and said, can you guarantee that she will stay in your village forever and not face danger if she doesn't go out? Mizuki shook his head. You must leave the village, but your safety is absolutely guaranteed. I will accept her as my disciple and teach her to become stronger. Also, I will find him a good and strong husband to protect her. Uzumaki Naruto is a good choice. Whoever dares to touch my Mizuki disciples, I will kill his entire family. Mizuki was very proud of himself. As a master, he had absolutely nothing to say. The disciples' marriage matters have been arranged in advance. As soon as Hinata heard that Mizuki asked Naruto to be her husband, she immediately blushed. Smoke started coming from her head, and then she fainted. No, you can't take her away. I don't agree, Hyuga Heishi said loudly. Advertisement Mizuki. I don't care whether you agree or not. Anyway, from today on, Hyuga Hinata is a member of my Phoenix Village. If you have the ability, come to my Phoenix Village to ask for someone. Mizuki grabbed people hardcore, and then flew away with Hinata. As for whether Hinata agrees or not, let Naruto ask her when they get to Phoenix Village. Halfway through, Hinata stopped fainting. Mizuki then told her about Naruto's life experience, told her the third generation's insidious intentions of deliberately concealing the truth, and showed Naruto's miserable life of always being hungry and drinking expired milk, which made Hinata cry. Naruto-kun is so pathetic. No wonder we all had lunches at ninja school, but Naruto-kun didn't. No wonder he is so much smaller than his peers. No wonder everyone doesn't play with him and calls him the son of a demon fox. It's so bad that the third Hokage did that to Naruto-kun. And those villagers, indiscriminately, are not good people either. Mizuki smiled happily. Hinata is already disgusted with Konoha and the third generation. You can't blame him for being deceptive. There's really too much black stuff in Konoha and we can't afford it. When they were about to return to Phoenix Village, Mizuki had already made plans to arrange for Hinata to live in Naruto's house, so that Kushina, a good wife and mother, could take care of Naruto while also taking care of her future daughter-in-law. After all, as the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family, Hinata doesn't know how to take care of herself. Living close together will bring Naruto and Hinata closer together. Maybe Boruto will be born a few years earlier. I think Kushina will definitely agree, but when he returned to Phoenix Village, he found that Naruto was missing. Tell me what's going on in detail. Mizuki looked gloomy. Kushina's red hair exploded and her fists were clenched tightly, but she still forced herself to be patient and explained the matter. Half an hour ago, Naruto woke up and told me that he dreamed of an old man teaching him ninjutsu and that he was hungry. I smiled and said that he was a genius and never forgot to practice even in his dreams. Then I walked into the kitchen and made him his favorite ramen as a midnight snack. But when I made the ramen and took it out, he was gone. There are no signs of movement on the doors or windows, and there is no unfamiliar chakra smell. At this point, Kushina said angrily, Obito, it must be Obito. Only with the space-time ninjutsu can one enter the house without using the doors or windows, and even after capturing Naruto, there will be no trace. Mizuki frowned. He didn't think it was Obito. First of all, Obito's eyes were blocked by himself, so there is no time and space ninjutsu. Secondly, Naruto can flying Thunder God, even Obito cannot capture Naruto quietly. But Naruto disappeared in the house, and the doors and windows were not moved. There was no other possibility except the time and space ninjutsu. Who is it? Did Orochimaru release Minato from Shinigami's belly? This is impossible. If it is really Minato, the first person he wants to see is probably not Naruto, but Kushina. Being able to leave Naruto alone in the world while he sacrificed his life for his wife, it was obvious that in Minato's heart, Kushina was the first one. Parents are true love, children are just accidents. Suddenly he thought of something and asked, by the way, Naruto said that an old man taught him ninjutsu in his dream. Please tell me in detail. What does the old man look like and what ninjutsu he taught me? Kushina shook her head and said, it's just a dream, it can't be taken seriously. Advertisement, and he said that the scene in the dream was very blurry and the old man's appearance was unclear. The ninjutsu taught was summoning, but the seals were all messed up and not right at all. Mizuki frowned. Did you guess wrong? It's not the old man from Six Paths who is up to something, but a simple dream. Meanwhile, Mount Myoboku. Naruto looked at the strange plants he had never seen before with a puzzled look on his face. This is where, I obviously followed the order of sealing that my mother taught me. Why'd I appear in this place? Didn't I say that the summoning technique can summon summoning beasts? Where's my summoning beast? It's just that Kushina didn't tell Naruto that he couldn't use the summoning technique before signing the summoning blood contract. This will transfer the caster's space to the secret realm where the summoning beast is. Naruto sensed the flying thunder god technique and prepared to shell back. But after sensing it for a while, I didn't feel it. Mount Myoboku is in a separate space, isolated from the ninja world. Flying thunder god, unable to cross 2 dimensions. At this moment, the ground suddenly shook, and then again. It seemed like there was something huge, jumping in this direction. Naruto hurriedly jumped onto a giant mushroom, looked into the distance, and then saw a huge toad jumping towards this side. It is as big as a small mountain. There is a giant short sword hanging on his waist, and a pipe in his mouth, while jumping and puffing away. Hey, this toad looks familiar. Isn't this the big toad summoned by Pervy Sage in the Land of Waves? If I remember correctly, his name should be Gamabunta. Big Toad, get ready for Master Naruto's thunderous strike. As soon as he finished speaking, Bunta suddenly jumped up and pressed towards Naruto with the force of a mountain. Wentai shouted. Damn human brat, who do you think is standing in front of you? If you dare to say such arrogant words to me, I think you are tired of living. Wentai said with disdain. You are really stupid, you can't even recognize who I am talking about. Naruto jumped in front of Bunta and stood on top of a mushroom. Such a big toad, wouldn't it be awesome if it became my summoning beast? The next moment, this kunai turned into tens of thousands and shot in all directions, inserting them all over the ground. Naruto said angrily, Stinky toad, don't be arrogant, today I will subdue you and make you my summoning beast. Naruto threw out a handful of kunai and shouted at the same time, Ninja technique. Multiple kunai shadow clone technique. Accept me as a summoning mon? Bunta blew out a puff of smoke from his mouth, drowning Naruto. Frogs have a strong sense of moving objects. When she noticed something moving, Bunta immediately stopped. Naruto was furious when he heard this and shouted, Stinky toad, who are you calling stupid? Thinking of this, Naruto's eyes lit up. Could it be that this is the hometown of Toad? At this moment, Wentai had arrived very close. Hey, he turned out to be a human imp. Well, the clear stupidity revealed in his eyes seems a bit familiar. Ahem. Naruto choked. I still need to give him a good beating. Chapter 109. Bunta yelled. F***CK. There are kunai everywhere, even Gamabunta's back is full of kunai. But for a toad with a large body, rough skin and thick flesh, it doesn't hurt or itch, and it doesn't feel anything. It's not very harmful, but it's very insulting. Kid, you p******** me off. Bear my wrath. Wentai opened his mouth and hit water style. The teppanyama, which to a human could be considered a giant water ball, shot towards Naruto at extremely fast speeds. Naruto chuckled. Stupid toad, your attacks can't hit me. With a flash of his body, he was on Wentai's back. Huh? Bunta was surprised. This is Minato's flying thunder god technique? Naruto asked. Do you know my dad? Bunta was even more shocked. What did you say? Minato is your father? Yes. Bunta was silent, and then said, since he is Minato's son, I forgive your offense just now. Get off my back, Naruto said. No, I will defeat you and accept you as my summoning beast. Wentai roared angrily. Damn little brat, don't push yourself too far. Don't think that I'm afraid of you just because you know flying thunder god. Although I can't catch you, you are no threat to me just because you are a brat. Bunta felt that such a big brat must not have learned any powerful ninjutsu. It is absolutely impossible to defeat yourself, Naruto said loudly, then give it a try. We agreed, as long as I defeat you, you must be my summoning beast and sign a summoning contract with me. Wentai said. Okay, then you can try it. I will stand here and not move. You don't need to defeat me. As long as you can hurt me, I will agree to sign a blood contract with you. Bunta has nothing to do against the flying thunder god, so he doesn't plan to fight back. Okay, this is what you said. The next moment, he stretched out his right hand, and Rasengan quickly formed in his palm. Take my move. Bunta couldn't see what happened on his back, but he still remembered Rasengan's breath. Has this brat even learned Rasengan? At this age, I have mastered the flying thunder god and Rasengan, which is even more powerful than Minato back then. Although Naruto used the Rasengan, Bunta wasn't too worried. With its huge size, it will have no problem resisting the next Rasengan. Big Toad, are you ready? It's going to hurt a lot next. Advertisement. Bunta curled his lips and said, hurry up, it's just Rasengan. If I frown, I will take your last name. Naruto stopped talking, suddenly jumped into the air, and then threw Rasengan down. At the same time, he shouted, Ninja technique. Rasengan shadow clone technique. As soon as he finished speaking, that one Rasengan turned into thousands of them, falling like dense raindrops like crazy. F***K. Wentai looked up and saw this scene and was stunned. It wanted to escape, but it was too late. The next moment, thousands of Rasengan crashed on its back. In an instant, the skin and flesh were torn apart. It was too horrible to look at. Wentai was also pressed by the huge impact and fell to the ground, with all 4 toad legs stretched out. Ah, kid, I'll kill you. Naruto flashed up to Bunta's nose, looked into the 2 big toad eyes, and asked, I'm just asking you if you accept it. Kid, you are looking for death. Bunta slapped him, but Naruto immediately dodged away and the slap missed him, causing his nose to bleed instead. Facing Naruto, who possesses the flying thunder god, Bunta is really helpless. You're not convinced. Are you? In Naruto's hands, the Rasengan took shape again, and he injected more chakra into it, causing the Rasengan to grow in size. Looking at this scene, Mrs. Wen's heart was full of mother's betrayal. Is this going to summoning the beast? This is obviously going to kill Lousy. Stop, Naruto asked. Are you convinced? Bunta. Okay, I promise to be your summoning mon. What can it do? If you don't agree, half your life will be lost. Naruto was overjoyed and hurriedly said, hurry up, sign the summoning blood contract with me. Buntai said, don't worry, it's not that easy to sign the summoning blood contract with my Mount Myoboku Toad clan. You still need to go through the review. Is it so troublesome? Naruto frowned. Bunta. No trouble, you are Minato's son, the review should be relatively simple. Furthermore, after passing the review, you will sign a blood contract with the entire Mount Myoboku Toad clan. When the time comes, you can not only summon me, but also all other toads. What a bargain. Naruto's eyes lit up and he became even happier. Come up, I'll take you to see the old man. Naruto rode the toad and soon met the senior leader of Mount Myoboku, Fukasaku Sage, a very small old toad. Advertisement, come on, review me quickly. Naruto couldn't wait any longer. Fukasaku said, no need to bother, since you are Minato's son, there is no need for review. You've passed. After saying that, it formed a seal with both hands and pressed it on the ground. Summoning technique. With a bang sound, a scroll was summoned by it. Naruto was surprised. Can a toad also know the summoning technique? Fukasaku unfolded the scroll and said, little Naruto, sign your name here, and then press the blood hand seal. This will sign the summoning blood contract with my Mount Myoboku Toad clan. Naruto immediately did so. After the blood contract was signed, Fukasaku said, come with me now, Great Toad Sage wants to see you. Great Toad Sage? Naruto frowned. Who is that? Fukasaku explained. The Great Toad Sage, the ancestor of our toads from Mount Myoboku, has lived for thousands of years. Because he is too old, a little confused, and sleepy, he lives in the temple in the back mountain and sleeps most of the time. Naruto's eyes widened. An old toad that has lived for thousands of years? Fukasaku jumped on Naruto's head and slapped Naruto to the ground. No disrespect to the Great Toad Sage. Then he added, although Great Toad Sage is sleeping, he is actually predicting the future. It can see future scenes in its sleep. Naruto was surprised. Is it so powerful? Fukasaku reminded. I will see the Great Toad Sage later, please be careful with what you say and don't offend me. Also, Great Toad Sage is a little confused, so don't be too surprised. Soon, Fukasaku took Naruto into the temple and saw the Great Toad Sage sleeping with his eyes closed. Did you fall asleep again? Fukasaku sighed and shouted, Master, Naruto is here, wake up quickly. Tamamaru's eyelids moved, he woke up. Who's here? He looked at Naruto and asked, who is this yellow-haired human kid? Fukasaku was helpless and said, it's Naruto. Didn't you know him in your dream? Or you asked me to bring him to you? Oh, it's Naruto. Naruto listened to the conversation and thought, this old toad is really confused. What do you want from me? The big toad said, Naruto, I knew you would come in my dream. I have a prophecy about you and the entire ninja world that I need to tell you. Naruto asked, what prophecy? About your master, the one named Mizuki, who predicted the destruction of the ninja world. The big toad kept saying nothing, and as soon as he said it, it made Naruto's head spin. Chapter 110. Mount Myoboku's Big Deception? Hey, what are you talking about? My master destroyed the ninja world, are you kidding me? Do you think that because you are older, I won't dare to beat you? Naruto can be a little nervous sometimes, but he's not stupid. How could you believe such nonsense? Little Naruto, don't be rude to the Great Toad Sage. The Great Toad Sage has used prophecies to save the ninja world several times. His prophecies are not wrong. Fukasaku said. Naruto looked cold, pointed at Gamamaru, and said, these are your own words and are completely baseless. I will never allow you to slander my master. Mizuki made him stronger, taught him ninjutsu, took him out of the dark place of Konoha, and resurrected his mother. But this old toad actually said that the master was a villain. Even a ninja couldn't bear it anymore. The big toad said, if you want evidence, then I will tell you. After hearing it, you just make your decision. Thousands of years ago, two aliens fell from the sky and came to this planet. One is named Otsutsuki Ashiki, and the other is named Otsutsuki Kagaya. The two also brought a larva of a sacred tree and planted it on the ground. The roots of the sacred tree grew rapidly, extending to every corner of the ninja world, absorbing all life force and growing. Naruto couldn't listen anymore and waved his hand. I know about Otsutsuki's story. You don't want to tell me that my master is also from the Otsutsuki clan, right?
Now the big toad finally couldn't sit still. It exclaimed, you know Otsutsuki. Where did you know that?
Naruto. What's so strange about this? Everyone in our village knows it. Otsutsuki Momoshiki, Otsutsuki Jinshi, Otsutsuki Pushi, Otsutsuki God. Toadmaru. Momoshi, Jinshi, Uraichi, the god of Otsutsuki. What are you talking about? Why haven't I heard of these things? Gamamaru can use dreams to predict what will happen in the next 30 years. But prophecies also depend on circumstances. If a prophecy is given to someone, then the person's future will be relatively clear. For example, what kind of places have you been to, what kind of people have you met, and what kind of things have you done? But these are all pictures. Big Toad can see them but cannot hear them, and there are no subtitles. Advertisement. This is why the Big Toad's prophecy to Jiraiya only said that the savior was a boy with yellow hair, but could not directly tell Jiraiya the name of the savior. If the prophecy was given to the entire ninja world, the clarity would be reduced. I can roughly see the direction of the ninja world and what major events have happened, but I can't be specific. So Gamamaru really didn't know any of the names Naruto said. Although the Big Toad was surprised, it reacted quickly. It asked, "Is this what Mizuki told you? Have you ever thought about where you got the news?" The Otsutsuki clan is an advanced race in the universe. They are all strangers to ninjas in the ninja world. Your master, Mizuki, has never left the ninja world. Why does he know so much?
Naruto sneered. TCH, my master is very powerful. He has some methods that ordinary ninjas don't have. It's not normal.
You can predict the future as a toad. My master stayed up all night, so it's not impossible. Toadwin was speechless. This statement really makes sense and cannot be refuted. But now that I have decided to get rid of Mizuki, I have to bite the bullet and get it done. Little Naruto, you are wrong. I am very responsible to tell you that your master's true identity is actually the larva of the sacred tree. Naruto was furious. You are a tree. Your whole family is a tree. My master is obviously a human. Gamamaru asked, "Are the trees near your Phoenix village dry and dry?" Naruto frowned, because as Gamamaru said, the woods near the village would dry up from time to time. Gamamaru struck while the iron was hot and said, "The growth of the larva of the sacred tree requires the absorption of a large amount of life force. Those dry trees have all had their life force absorbed by Mizuki. He is still in his infancy and has little need for life force, but as he grows, he will absorb more and more life force, until eventually, all living things in the human world will be drained of their life force and die. By then, the ninja world will be completely silent. Our planet will also wither completely." The more Tamamaru spoke, the faster and faster he spoke, and the more serious he became. "No, I don't believe it," Naruto roared. "Master Mizuki will never destroy the ninja world." Seeing that the foundation was almost laid, Big Toad breathed a sigh of relief and finally finished what he needed to say. These words may not change Naruto's mind now, but they will plant a seed of doubt in Naruto's heart. Given time, the seeds will sprout and grow and play their due role. Naruto, you and Mizuki have a deep relationship as master and disciple. I am not saying this to make you believe it now. You don't have to believe what I say, or we can wait and see. Soon, Mizuki will reveal his true colors. At that time, you will know whether what I said today is true. Advertisement. Naruto looked at Gamamaru and said, "You make me doubt my master first, I won't be fooled." Gamamaru smiled and said, "Whatever you think. In short, the Mount Myoboku Toad Clan, have no ill intentions towards you. It is fate that you come to Mount Myoboku. When you come here, you are destined to become the savior like the Sage of Six Paths. Next, you will stay at Mount Myoboku and practice Ninjutsu." Naruto sneered. "You slandered Master Mizuki, so I won't be able to practice the Toad Clan's art." Gamamaru said, "It's not up to you. Mount Myoboku is a secret space independent of the ninja world. If you want to leave, you need to use Senjutsu as the basis. If you can't learn Senjutsu, you'll have to stay at Mount Myoboku forever, with toads as your company." Fukusaku on the side wanted to say something, but was stopped by Gamamaru's eyes. It could only sigh, wondering in its heart, what on earth does this ancestor of its own want to do? In Phoenix Village, Naruto's disappearance made Mizuki anxious. For several days, he searched everywhere, even sneaking into Rain Shinobi Village, but there was still no news about Naruto. In desperation, he returned to the village and asked Kushina in detail what happened that night. After Kushina finished speaking, Mizuki was speechless. "Didn't you tell him that he can't summon until he signs a blood contract with summoning?" Kushina. I thought he knew. Didn't he graduate from a ninja school? Didn't he learn this basic ninja knowledge?" Mizuki. "Don't you know that he was the weakest in school and his test scores were never up to standard?" Kushina. "He told me that he always comes in first place." Mizuki. "This mother and son are really worrying." "Okay, don't worry too much." Naruto used the summoning technique and went to the summoning beast secret realm. With his strength, even if he reaches the 3 secret realms, there will be no danger, and there will even be opportunities. Mizuki guessed that Naruto probably went to Mount Myoboku. So he was not in a hurry. "It's time for me to practice. There are so many powerful ninjutsu. Only when you learn them can you become your own. Then, let's start with chapter 111. How about giving me the star outside the sky?" Invincible Flying Thunder God, SS-level ninjutsu. Each time you use Flying Thunder God, you will be invincible for 0.5 seconds. From this day on, Mizuki began to concentrate on studying this technique. Instead of practicing in seclusion in the village, he left the village and practiced while traveling. All the way to the west, I unknowingly left the country of birds and came to the country of bears. The poisonous canyon ahead is the natural barrier for the Star Ninja Village to resist foreign enemies. It's called Hell Valley. In the Hoshinan village of the Bear Country, a meteorite fell from the sky 200 years ago. This meteorite can highly activate the ninja's chakra. The person who originally discovered the meteorite established the Star Ninja Village and called himself the first generation Star Shadow. He also invented the peacock magic and passed it down from generation to generation. The peacock magic technique is a pretty good secret technique. After practicing it, Chakra can transform into various shapes to fight, and even form wings on the back to help the Star Ninja fly. Unfortunately, this meteorite is radioactive. Practicing around the meteorite for a long time will be life-threatening. Mizuki came just for that meteorite. He stood on the cliff and looked across the canyon. Although he couldn't see the Star Ninja Village clearly, he could already feel a strange energy fluctuation there. Even just feeling the fluctuation made his chakra tremble slightly. It's like a wild cat smelling fish. At this moment, the sound of breaking through the sky sounded, and a figure flew along the canyon, shuttled through the poisonous fog. After discovering Mizuki, it immediately flew to the cliff opposite Mizuki and stood on it. Who are you? Why are you spying on the Star Ninja Village here? This is a boy wearing a gas mask with chakra forming a pair of wings on his back, giving him the ability to fly. Is this the magic trick of a peacock? Mizuki looked at the wings on the opponent's back with interest. The chakra is activated to such an extent that it even surpasses the tailed beast chakra. In terms of controlling the shape of the chakra, even the tailed beast chakra cannot achieve this level of freedom. Just like Naruto in the anime, even if he becomes a perfect Jinchuriki, he cannot use the Nine Tails chakra to form wings and fly. The most that can be done is to turn the Nine Tails chakra into a hand and release the Rasengan. This peacock magic is definitely a secret technique with unlimited potential. If you learn it, you can fly a Gundam even without the Mangekyo Sharingan. Even if you don't have a Jinchuriki, you can make your own tailed beast coat, or even transform into a tailed beast yourself. What is Susanoo? Isn't it the giant formed by chakra? Isn't the tailed beast's coat also a surface defense formed by chakra? Once you have mastered the peacock magic, you can achieve all of these with your own will. The reason why the people of Star Ninja Village cannot reach that level is because they are too weak and have too little chakra. Transforming into wings to fly, or transforming into tigers, leopards, snakes, dragons, etc. to attack enemies is already their limit. In other words, if the peacock magic is placed in the Star Ninja Village, it is really a pearl covered in dust. The peacock magic and the meteorite, Phoenix Village, are going to decide. Advertisement, only in my hands can they be generous and glorious. When I think that one day, everyone in my village will be able to drive a Gundam, and the shape of the Gundam can be determined by their own wishes. Just thinking about it makes me a little excited. The boy on the other side of the canyon saw Mizuki's fiery eyes and shouted, "Who are you?" Mizuki smiled and said, "I am the first generation Phoenix Village of Phoenix Country, Mizuki. Young man, what is your name?" The young man frowned. "My name is Subaru, I'm Genin from the Star Ninja Village. As for the Phoenix Village you mentioned, I have never heard of it. In my memory, there is no ninja village in the bird country. Star Ninja Village is too closed, and they turn a deaf ear to what is happening in the outside world. The young man has no idea about Phoenix Village or anything like that. Subaru, the son of Natsuhi and Yinghuo, he is lucky to meet such a talented boy when he comes here." Mizuki continued. "I'm here to discuss something with you, third generation Star Shadow, please let me know." Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished speaking, Subaru's tone immediately became stern. "You are not welcome here, please leave immediately." After saying that, he turned around and left. After taking 2 steps, he paused and turned back to give a kind reminder. "Don't come over here, these poisonous mist will kill you." Mizuki frowned as he watched Subaru disappear across the canyon. "What do you mean? Why does his attitude change drastically when I mention third generation Star Shadow? Is it possible that the third generation Star Shadow is dead? He thought I was a thief who took advantage of the situation and wanted to steal the outer star." Mizuki frowned slightly. It seemed that this was possible. Third generation Xingying knew the dangers of the outer star, so he ordered the meteorite to be sealed and no longer allowed to be practiced by people in the village. The people led by Akahoshi wanted to gain great strength, so they assassinated the third generation Hoshikage, took out the sky outer star, and let the ninjas in the village practice the peacock magic technique again. Forget it, forget about that. My current goal is to get the outer star, and by the way, merge the Star Ninja Village into the Phoenix Village. Although he recruited people everywhere, there were still too few people in Fenghuang Village, and the growth rate was too slow. So, how can we make people from Star Ninja Village willing to join Phoenix Village? It's better to observe and observe first. Mizuki threw a special kunai across the canyon. The kunai flew across the canyon and was nailed to a rock on the opposite side. Whoops! Mizuki has reached the other side. Compared to Apparition, Flying Thunder God's chakra consumption is negligible.
But this is just an ordinary Flying Thunder God technique, the invincible Flying Thunder God returned by the system, and he hasn't learned it yet.
The consumption of the invincible Flying Thunder God is not that simple. Energy is always conserved, and the invincible state for 0.5 seconds after each Flying Thunder God will not appear out of thin air. Advertisement, Flying Thunder God has learned, invincible Flying Thunder God, is it still far away? Picking up the kunai, Mizuki stepped towards the Star Ninja Village. But at this moment, a sound broke through the air behind him, and at the same time, there was a dangerous atmosphere. Mizuki looked sideways and saw a hungry wolf made of chakra, biting him with its mouth wide open. He made no movement, but golden chakra appeared around him. A skeletal arm quickly formed, and with a single punch, it smashed the hungry wolf away. Susanoo. This is also the first time Mizuki uses Susanoo after getting the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. I have to say, it's very useful, very pretentious. After cracking the attack, Mizuki looked at the person who performed the attack. It was a man with red hair and a mask, flying in the air with 2 pairs of wings behind him, looking down at Mizuki. Leave immediately, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. Even if you are very powerful, I will never let you harm the village at all, even if it means death, I will not hesitate. I'm not kidding, Konoha traitorous ninja, Mizuki. The other party issued a warning. The voice that spoke was a female voice. Mizuki had already guessed the person's identity. A red-haired woman who can practice the peacock magic to such an extent could not be anyone but Sha Xing. He smiled lightly and said, "The rebel ninja in Star Ninja Village, Natsuhi Hoshi, where do you stand on preventing me from entering Star Ninja Village?" Sha Xing was shocked. "How do you know my identity?" Mizuki said, "Not only do I know your identity, I also know that the boy named Subaru just now is your son. I know better that you rebelled against the Star Ninja Village not to harm the village, but to protect the village." "I said that, right?" Sha Xing was confused. Apart from third-generation Hoshikage and himself, no one else knows about these things, not even the Jonin in the village. How did Mizuki, a person who didn't belong to the Hoshi Ninja Village, know? Seeing that the effect was achieved, Mizuki began to strike while the iron was hot. "Summer Star, you don't have to be nervous. I'm not here today to destroy the Star Ninja Village. On the contrary, I'm here to help you. Aren't you worried that the outer stars will harm the people in the village? Then I will help you eliminate this hidden danger once and for all. The outer star will belong to me from now on. What do you think?" Chapter 112. Susanoo created by Peacock's magic method. Where did you get this information? Could it be that you were responsible for the death of third-generation Star Shadow? Damn it, you killed third-generation Star Shadow and stole the village's information. Mizuki. Sister, you are really good at thinking. You misunderstood. I don't even know what third-generation Star Shadow looks like. His death has nothing to do with me. Today is my first time in Star Ninja Village. Summer Star scolded. Do you think I will believe what you say? You've never been to Star Ninja Village. How did you know that there is a star outside the sky in Star Ninja Village? How do you know me? How do you know Subaru? Mizuki had nothing to say. The more I explain, the more guilty I appear. Forget it, whatever you think, I have no ill intentions towards the Star Ninja Village anyway. Sha Xing was condescending and said loudly, "You admit it, then keep your life here. Although Xing Ninja Village is not big, it cannot be bullied by a random foreign enemy." What did I admit to myself? Mizuki was speechless. Okay, if you don't listen to me, if you talk nicely, you insist on picking a fight with me. In that case, I won't be polite. Sha Xing stopped talking nonsense and saw chakra overflowing from her body, turning into several big hands, grabbing huge rocks on the ground and throwing them towards Mizuki. Little tricks. Mizuki's left eye Sharingan moved slightly, and the golden chakra surged out, turning into a skeleton giant, protecting him within it. All the flying weapons were blocked by the skeleton arm with a light wave. Summer Star's complexion changed drastically. What kind of ninjutsu are you doing? And your eyes, why are they like this? Mizuki raised his eyebrows, thinking that the people in Shao Ninja Village were too ignorant. It's normal not to know Susanoo, but it's too ignorant not to know Sharingan. Peacock magic is indeed a very practical and powerful secret technique, but in the eyes of a truly strong person, it is too crude. You can try to do the same as me and form chakra outside your body to generate Susanoo. Sha Xing frowned, not understanding what Mizuki meant. Isn't he an enemy? Why did he guide me to practice? But she still did as she was told. Her chakra was light red. She used the peacock magic method to control these chakras to cover the surface of her body. Soon, a giant skeleton appeared. Mizuki was overjoyed. Although he had guessed that Peacock's magic method could be used to make Gundam, after seeing it with his own eyes, his feelings were completely different. He continued. Next, continue to learn from me. As he spoke, his Susanoo, muscles sprouted from the bones of the skull. Natsuhi didn't understand what Mizuki meant, but he did it anyway. Soon, her giant body also grew muscles. Next, create chakra armor on the giant's body. And create weapons, such as long knives. Summer Star did the same, so both giants had a 40-meter machete in their hands. 2 chakra giants, one golden and one reddish, stand on either side of Hell Valley. Now that we have the shape, let's try it and see how strong it is. After saying this, Mizuki slashed vertically with his long sword. Summer Star immediately controlled the giant and faced him with swords. Advertisement with a dang sound. Mizuki's long sword was intact, but Natsuhi Hoshi's sword was broken into 2 pieces. Mizuki hurriedly sheathed the knife, but her brows were already furrowed. It's obvious that the Susanoo created by Summer Star using Peacock's magic method is not as strong as the real Susanoo. It seems that there is something wrong with it, so he asked the other side, "Have you mastered the Earth Attribute Chakra Nature Transformation?" Summer Star shook his head and asked, "What is Chakra Nature Transformation?" Mizuki. Is this the sadness of the ninjas in Shaonin Village? I don't even know about Chakra Nature Transformation. Forget it, let's talk about it later. He relieves Susanoo. The summer star on the opposite side also saw that Mizuki had no ill intentions, and also took back the chakra and stopped the offensive. Who are you anyway? Why did you come to Star Ninja Village? Also, why did you guide me to practice the peacock magic technique? Mizuki said. My name is Mizuki, and I am the first generation Hokage of the newly established Phoenix Village in the Land of Birds. Who would have thought that Sha Xing immediately took 2 steps back after hearing this? Are you Mizuki, the rebel ninja of Konoha who killed the 3rd Hokage in the 4th Kage? Mizuki nodded without denying it. At the same time, he felt a little proud. It was a great honor that someone in such a remote place had heard of his name. You are the twin shadow killer. In that case, did you also kill the 3rd generation Star Shadow? Mizuki. I have killed many people, but I am not a murderer, I just kill everyone I see. The 3rd Hokage has a grudge against me, so I killed him. The 3rd generation Star Shadow has nothing to do with me, why should I come all the way to kill him? I came to Star Ninja Village for the sake of the outer star. You also know that those meteorites contain radiation and can damage the human body. It will also be a good thing for the Star Ninja Village if I take them away. Back then, didn't you and your husband also plan to steal the stars? Summer Star frowned. She still didn't believe Mizuki. I am no longer a ninja from the Star Ninja Village. If you want to take away the stars, I can't make the decision. But if you want to forcibly hurt the villagers and then take away the stars, I will never agree. Although I can't beat you, I will stop you even if I die. After finishing speaking, Sha Xing flew away, but Mizuki could feel that she was not too far away, but was staring at him secretly. Mizuki smiled lightly and prepared to go to the Star Ninja Village. But before he went, people from the Star Ninja Village came. A large group of people, headed by 3 middle-aged men, followed by a group of imps, were all attracted by the Susanoo giant. Soon, these people arrived in front of Mizuki. Who are you, and why do you trespass on the boundaries of the Star Ninja Village? Mizuki said generously. I am the 1st generation Hokage of Phoenix Village in the Land of Birds, Mizuki. At the same time, I am also a friend of the 3rd generation Hoshikage of Hoshi Ninja Village. 3rd generation Star Shadow sent me a message asking for help, saying that someone was trying to murder him. Mizuki just opens his mouth and tells lies without even drafting them. That's nonsense. The 3rd generation Hoshikage is dead. What evidence do you have to prove what you said? One of the 3 middle-aged Jonin stood up and yelled. Mizuki asked. Who is Akahoshi? The 3rd generation Hoshikage said in the letter that the person who wanted to murder him was a Jonin named Akahoshi. After saying this, all the boys looked at Jonin who had just spoken. Mizuki also looked at the other party and smiled. It seems that you are Akahoshi, so tell me now, how did you kill the 3rd generation Hoshikage? Akahoshi shouted. Outsiders, you come to our village and talk nonsense, I will kill you. Advertisement. Mizuki smiled faintly, and a Sharingan illusion instantly enveloped the opponent. Red Star is directly controlled by illusion. Tell me the whole process of your murder of 3rd generation Star Shadow in detail. Akahoshi lowered his head and said, that old guy, he deserves to die. As soon as these words came out, all the teenagers immediately backed away and looked at Akahoshi in surprise. The 2 Jonin beside Akahoshi also looked surprised. One of them said, Hey, Boss Chixing, what are you talking about? How can you say such a thing in public? Akahoshi did not respond, and continued. I can never just watch the decline of the Star Ninja Village, so I will kill you, remove the seal of the stars, and let everyone practice the peacock magic. I do this all for the future of Star Ninja Village. Mizuki asked. Who else took action? Kai Shing said. There are also Nighthawk and Death Burial. The 3 of us joined forces to attack in a sneak attack. The old guy couldn't react at all. That night, He told the whole story of the murder in great detail. The teenagers didn't believe it at first, but after hearing what he said in such detail, they couldn't believe it anymore. They never expected that their respected 3rd generation grandfather would die so miserably. After Mizuki lifted the illusion and Akahoshi regained his consciousness, his expression changed drastically when he thought of what had just happened. But the matter has reached this point, and it is too late to explain. Yes, I killed that old guy, so what he said about stars being dangerous is all lies. He just doesn't want us to use the stars to practice, but he practices secretly himself. I killed him for the future of the village and for you. He tried his best to defend himself, but all the teenagers no longer believed him. Akahoshi was furious, looked at Mizuki, gritted his teeth and said, It's all you, it's all your fault, I'll kill you. Peacock magic. Beast. His chakra transformed into a tiger and charged towards Mizuki. Mizuki raised his hand lightly. Ninja technique. Seal technique absorbing seal. The chakra tiger rushed in front of Mizuki, and before he could attack, he was sucked clean by the sealing seal. What kind of evil magic are you doing? Chixing looked ugly. Mizuki didn't bother to explain. Chixing called to his companions and said, Nighthawk, Burial of Death, why are you still standing there in a daze? Let's start together and kill him. The 3 of them started working together, and various grotesque chakra beasts attacked Mizuki from 3 directions. Mizuki cast Susanoo again. Let you see the true use of the peacock magic. If you want to take over the Star Ninja Village, you have to show them your hands. Susanoo, just use it as a stepping stone. The golden giant, which was tens of meters tall, stunned everyone's attention. Akahoshi shouted, Illusion, this must be an illusion. The attacks of the three people hit Susanoo's body surface, causing no waves at all, not even scratching. Too weak. With a wave of his hand, the Susanoo giant caught the three of them in the palm of his hand, and with a little force, he knocked them unconscious. Now, these three murderers are at your disposal. After you're done with it, make some preparations and come with me. Third generation Hoshikage, please ask me. After executing Akahoshi and others, you all will return to the bird country with me. Chapter 113. The Outer Star, the upgraded chakra begins. What, going to the bird country? No, this is absolutely not possible. Star Ninja Village is our home, and we will never leave. Although he is a young man, he has a lot of affection for his family. Mizuki wants them to leave their hometown with just one sentence, but of course they don't agree. Mizuki knew this would happen, so he said, if you don't want to leave, I won't force you, but I have to take away the star. That thing is too dangerous for you. Using the outer star to practice will cause irreparable damage to the body over time. This is why the third generation Star Shadow sealed it. Mizuki's main goal is the meteorite. As for whether these children follow him or not, he doesn't particularly care. It's best if you can follow, and it doesn't matter if you don't. No, the outer star is the most precious treasure of our Hoshi Ninja Village. You can't take it away. As for what you said about using the outer stars to practice, it is dangerous, who knows whether it is true or not. Subaru was the first to stand up and refused bluntly. Mizuki smiled lightly. With my strength, there is no need to lie to you. I really want to rob you. Who of you can stop me? After he finished speaking, these teenagers fell silent. What Mizuki said was exactly what they were worried about. Fortunately, Mizuki was quite reasonable and didn't try to rob him. Subaru said, but without the outer star, we cannot practice the peacock magic. Soon, the Star Ninja Village will lose its ninja and be completely defeated. It has to be said that the Star Ninja Village relies too heavily on the outer star. Apart from the peacock mystical technique, they have no other ninjutsu. In fact, they don't even know the basic free body technique. Without the help of the sky outer star, the ninjas in this village cannot improve their strength. You can use the outer star, which will cause casualties. This meteorite is like a double-edged sword, you can neither take it nor throw it away. Mizuki said, there is no point in exchanging health and life for strength. You don't have to worry, although I took away the star from heaven, I will leave some ninjutsu scrolls for you to practice. In this way, even if you lose the outer star, you don't have to worry about not being able to become stronger. Don't worry, what I give you is definitely worth more than the stars in the sky. The teenagers were all silent. Mizuki then realized that it was rash to let a group of children decide the future of the village. Where are the adults in your village? Let them decide. Advertisement Subaru said, except for the three of them, the adults in the village are all ordinary villagers. He pointed at the three people on the ground. Where are the others? Isn't there an adult ninja? Mizuki was speechless. All died of illness. Mizuki couldn't help but shake his head. This outer star was too cruel, he killed everyone. This made him feel more at ease with taking away the outer star. In doing so, he was indeed saving people. He said no more and took out dozens of ninjutsu scrolls. These are ninjutsu training scrolls. In addition to the basic free body technique, there are also 5 attribute ninjutsu of fire, earth, wind, water, and thunder. The levels range from D to B. These ninjutsu are enough for you to practice and make the Star Ninja Village prosperous. Mizuki is still very reasonable. There was no robbery, but exchange, and the things he gave were more suitable for the development of Star Ninja Village. There are two completely different attitudes towards the Star Ninja Village and towards Konoha. He and Konoha don't have to deal with each other, so he can grab it and feel at ease when doing it. But he had no grievances against the Star Ninja Village, so if he were to be robbed by force, he would not be able to handle it. Subaru asked in surprise, did you really trade these ninjutsu for our stars? Mizuki nodded. Actually, I would rather you come back to the Kingdom of Birds with me, so that I can guide you in your cultivation and make you stronger faster. But if you don't agree, I can only give you ninjutsu. Okay, check these ninjutsu scrolls. If there are no problems, I will take away the star from the sky. But these teenagers did not move, and there was still distrust in their eyes. Because they couldn't tell whether these ninjutsu scrolls were authentic or not, and they didn't know whether the ninjutsu recorded in them could be practiced. Poor baby. Mizuki immediately decided to stay here for 3 days to coach these children. 3 days later, when Subaru successfully performed the clone technique according to the records on the ninjutsu scroll, everyone believed that the scroll given by Mizuki was genuine. As agreed, Mizuki took the sky outer star and left the Star Ninja Village. Finally got it. He held the meteorite in his hand and immediately clearly noticed that the vitality in his body began to decrease. This radiation is really scary. Advertisement: if others dare to hold it with their hands, they will burp in less than half a month. The closer you are, the stronger the radiation and the greater the damage. However, while his body was damaged, Mizuki also noticed that under the influence of this radiation, the chakra in his body began to become different. There is a feeling of being able to do whatever you want chakra to do. In addition, the viscosity of chakra has become higher, as if it has an entity. It's not like Mizuki has never tried before, gathering chakra behind his back to form wings. But those wings are hollow. Even if they are fanned, they cannot move the air and let him fly. But now, Mizuki feels different. He controls the chakra to form a pair of wings behind his back, and then controls the wings to flap. Call. There was a slight sound of wind, and some dust was picked up from the ground. It really works. Although these wings still can let him fly, this is a good start. As he receives more radiation from the outer stars, one day, he can completely materialize chakra. Maybe for me, it's nothing, but for other people in the village, it's definitely a huge improvement. The scene of everyone flying Gundam is definitely worth looking forward to. Next month, I will give this thing to my apprentice. After returning it, the effect will definitely be stronger. After completing his journey under the Star Ninja Village, Mizuki left the Bear Country and returned to Phoenix Village. Along the way, he continued to practice the invincible flying thunder god, the outer star, which he tied with a rope and hung on his chest to maximize Chakra's upgraded speed. At the same time, Phoenix Village, Sasuke successfully mastered the ability to change his form. I finally got it. Now that I have Kage-level strength, it's time to avenge Uchiha's genocide. Danzo, you are the first one. You ordered the Itachi clan to be exterminated. It was so cruel and inhumane that I will kill you 10,000 times. Itachi, you are the second one. You are willing to abandon your family for the sake of Konoha, even your biological parents. You deserve to die. After you die, I will use impure world reincarnation to summon you again, so that you can witness my destruction of Konoha with your own eyes. No, this is not enough. Don't you want to protect Konoha? Then I will control you and let you destroy Konoha with your own hands, kill everyone in Konoha, and raze the entire Konoha to the ground. You will definitely like that feeling. Under the night, the Avengers embarked on the road to seek revenge. Chapter 114. Sun Wukong comes to your door in the middle of the night. Two figures came quietly near the village. The red cloud trench coat on black background is clearly visible in the moonlight. Kisame, just put it here, Uchiha Itachi said. Hoshigaki Kisame complained. What does the leader want to do? Let us capture Jinchuriki and then he sends us here. It's so incomprehensible. Although he was full of complaints, Kisame still lifted the man off his back and threw him on the ground. Uchiha Itachi said calmly, the leader's decision is not something we can question. The mission has been completed, let's go now. If we are discovered, we will be in danger. The two of them glanced at the people on the ground, turned around and left quickly. Early the next morning, Bai, who was carrying a bamboo basket out of the village to pick flowers, saw an unconscious man in the grass at a glance. I saw that the other party was covered in wounds and his breath was very weak. It was obvious that he had just experienced a big battle. Why is there someone injured and unconscious here? Looking at the forehead protector, it should be someone from Rock Shinobi Village, Earth Country. Bai didn't recognize this person, but after hesitating for a moment, he took him back to the village. No one in the village knew who this person was, and even Tsunade, Zabuza and other well-informed people did not know his identity. Kushina frowned and said, I felt the aura of the tailed beast on him. This person is a Jinchuriki. Why are the Jinchuriki of Rock Shinobi Village here? Everyone was puzzled. Did the village chief master bring it back? Fu guessed. Tsunade shook his head. If it were him, he would not throw the person outside the village, but bring him directly to the village. This man was deliberately caught and thrown outside the village. I feel like there's some conspiracy here. Tsunade's decades of life have not been in vain, especially since she was born in Konoha Village, a village full of conspiracies and calculations. Her sense of conspiracy is quite sensitive. 1 tail, 7 tails, and 9 tails are all here, and now there's Jinchuriki. Someone wants Phoenix Village to become a target. Everyone looked solemn. There are already rumors in the entire ninja world that Mizuki wants to collect the 9-tailed beasts, and then use the tailed beasts as weapons to rule the entire ninja world. Now there are more and more tailed beasts in Phoenix Village. If this continues, the 5 major countries will be unable to sit still. It will be fun when the whole ninja world comes to besiege Phoenix Village. In this case, this person cannot stay in Phoenix Village, so he should be sent away. If not, Rock Shinobi Village will definitely stand against us. The Kingdom of Fire and the Kingdom of Wind have already offended each other. It would not be a good thing if another Kingdom of Earth comes. Everyone had no objection to this proposal, so they decided to send the injured Jinchuriki away. Sai's Super Beast fake painting can draw flying birds, so the task of sending Jinchuriki away is given to him. Sai took out a pen and paper and quickly drew a big white bird. Just as he was about to send the person away, Mizuki came back. Hey, what are you all doing here? Who is this unconscious guy? Tsunade explained the matter. Mizuki looked at the unconscious middle-aged man with purple hair and beard, and purple clothes. Based on these features, he immediately guessed the identity of this man. The 4 tails Jinchuriki of Rock Shinobi Village in Earth Country, Old Purple. There are 2 tailed beasts in Rock Shinobi Village, 4 tails Son Goku and 5 tails Kakuo. 4 tails Jinchuriki, Lao Zi, had a disagreement with Tsuchikage Onoki, so he left Rock Shinobi Village and wandered in the ninja world. Advertisement in the anime, he is captured by Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame. Well, strictly speaking, only Hoshigaki Kisame was the one doing it, and Uchiha Itachi was the one doing the whole thing. Lao Zi's lava style was defeated by Kisame. Whoever builds a water-style dam will destroy lava style. Why send him away? There's no need. If you don't want to give up the tailed beast that comes to your door, how can there be any reason to send it away? When the time comes, each of his disciples will have a tailed beast, and with the help of the peacock trick, they will disguise themselves as Susanoo, and they will be so cool. As for offending Rock Shinobi Village, he didn't care at all. Onoki, that short old man, couldn't even hit his knees when he jumped. But this is a conspiracy. Someone deliberately framed us and convicted us of collecting tailed beasts. If this continues, sooner or later other countries will unite and besiege us. Tsunade was worried. Minato smiled and said, "It doesn't matter, just let them come. I will take them as many as they come." Mizuki insists on going his own way and doesn't listen to Tsunade's advice at all. "Kushina, do me a favor and pull the four tails out of him." Kushina nodded and then started directly. Soon Four Tails Sun Wukong was drawn out. Mizuki did not rush to seal it, but first used Sharingan illusion to control it. As for Lao Zi, after being whipped by the tailed beast, his vitality declined sharply and he died soon after. Mizuki used the power of the Rinnegan human world to extract his soul. After all, he whipped his tailed beast, and Mizuki couldn't bear it if he died again. It is not good to kill others without any grievance or enmity. The Sage of Six Paths isolated the connection between the Pure Land and the mortal world, preventing the souls of the Pure Land from coming to the mortal world, and sealed Mizuki's Rinne Tensai technique in disguise. Therefore, Mizuki could only intercept Lao Zi's soul, otherwise he would not be able to be resurrected. Heretic. Rinne Tensai technique. Lao Zi was successfully resurrected and looked at Mizuki, confused. He didn't even know what was happening. Didn't I get attacked by people from the Akatsuki organization? Why are I here? Who are you? Besides, Sun Wukong was removed from my body, why didn't I die? Mizuki explained the matter briefly, and then said, "You are no longer Jinchuriki, Four Tails Sun Wukong will also stay in Phoenix Village in the future. Whether you leave or stay is up to you." Lao Zi said, "I'm leaving. But before I leave, I want to remind you that Onoki has a bad temper. If you take Sun Wukong as your own, then be prepared for a war with Rock Shinobi Village." Lao Zi simply left without saying a word about getting Four Tails back. He knew the name of Mizuki's twin shadow killer. After finally surviving, he doesn't want to seek death. Immediately afterwards, Mizuki used planetary devastation to seal Four Tails. There is another giant meteorite hanging in the sky. I went out for a walk and came back with this kind of harvest. I don't know who is so kind. It's better to give more, the better. Mizuki is very happy. To be honest, if he were asked to snatch the tailed beast, he might not be able to do it. He is a civilized person, and civilized people do not act like robbers. Advertisement. He wished that the tailed beasts could be delivered to his door. Let's all disperse. After watching the fun, everyone went to do their own thing. At this moment, Mizuki discovered that Sasuke and Xiangling were not there. He didn't care, thinking that Sasuke was still practicing. As for Xiang Phosphorus, she always likes to get close to Sasuke. Usually, she will be where Sasuke is. Everyone dispersed, except Nawaki. "Nawaki, what's wrong?" Nawaki said, "Master, I have completely mastered the wood-style four-pillar house technique you taught me before. The house I built now is full of details and super luxurious. Besides, I have completed all the planning land for construction in the village, and there is no room left for further construction. Four-pillar house technique, there is no need to continue practicing, I need a new wood-style secret." Indeed, as he said, Phoenix Village has been built by him. Mizuki nodded and said, "In that case, let me teach you the new secret technique of wood style." He took out 2 scrolls and handed them over. These 2 techniques, one is wood style. Wooden ingot evasion, a defensive ninjutsu. The other is wood style. Wood clone, which is a clone that is more difficult to identify than shadow clone and is mainly used for detection. These 2 techniques are not very difficult and are suitable for you to practice. Practice hard and come back to me after you master it to learn new secret techniques. Mizuki returned to the office and began to make the next step of village planning. The construction is complete, and the next step is business planning. In such a large village, just ninjas like them are not enough. They also need a large number of ordinary civilians to make the village lively and prosperous. Although he is not short of money, he always needs food and clothing. In addition, ninjas also need entertainment, good wine and food, and hot spring baths. These must be arranged. You still have to find a big name. With the call of a big name, I believe many people will be willing to move to Fenghuang Village. Once there are people, the village will slowly develop. Whether it is medical, education, commerce, or entertainment, the framework will be quickly set up. Mizuki asked, "How far has Sasuke's training reached?" "It's floating. He must have mastered the ability to change his body." "Hey, it's really annoying," Nobita said. "Yesterday I heard him laughing in the woods, saying that he had finally mastered it and could take revenge. Then let Sasuke go to Damingfu. However, just by apparating, he wouldn't think that he could defeat Uchiha Itachi." Then, Mizuki searched the whole village but couldn't find Sasuke. "Did you go to one of the 3 summoning holy lands like Naruto?" But then, Mizuki discovered that the fragrant phosphorus was also missing. Little Sakura is dead, Mizuki has suffered heavy losses, and now we can't let anything happen to Sasuke too. Mizuki. He is going east, probably heading to Konoha to find Danzo. So, before his butt was still hot, Mizuki left the village again. The direction is east. No, Sasuke is missing too? They should have left last night. The two of them did not leave together. Sasuke was in front and Shanlin was behind. He immediately summoned the people in the village, and everyone began to investigate. Soon, traces of Sasuke leaving the village were found. Chapter 115. Sasuke and Itachi's brotherhood. Mizuki goes east to chase Sasuke. Little did he know that Sasuke was currently in the northern land of Earth. A dozen Kisong, are you really not going to deal with it? The testing for him is almost done. To be able to catch up so far, his ninja foundation is very good for this age group. However, if we let him continue chasing like this, we won't be able to carry out our mission. Itachi and Kisame jumped forward in the forest, and Kisame looked back from time to time. From behind, Sasuke is chasing after him. Last night, Itachi and Kisame left after visiting Phoenix Village. They didn't go far when they were hit by Sasuke, who then gave chase. Itachi continued to move forward and said simply, "Now is not the time." Kisame asked curiously, "What's not the right time?" Itachi said, "This is a matter between our brothers, and it is also related to Sharingan's secret. I can't say more. Speed up and get rid of him. The leader has sent information about our way. We must arrive before evening." As soon as he finished speaking, his speed suddenly increased, and Kisame also accelerated. "I really don't understand, Chief. It's not enough to capture 4 tails and send them to Phoenix Village. He also needs to capture 2 tails. And I heard that Scorpion and Deidara went to capture 3 tails. The organization's previous plan was to capture all 9-tailed beasts, seal them, and combine them into 10 tails to promote peace in the ninja world. But now they're giving the tailed beasts to Mizuki in white. What does it mean?" Kisame is simple-minded and puzzled. Itachi had already guessed Nagato's plan. Mizuki is too strong. We have no advantage in competing with him for the tailed beasts. What the leader means is to take the initiative to help Mizuki collect tailed beasts. If this happens, the 5 major nations will definitely resist and unite to besiege Phoenix Village. Kisame's eyes lit up and he smiled inexplicably. "I see." After the two increased their speed, the distance between them and Sasuke immediately widened and became wider and wider. After all, Sasuke is only 13 years old. Although he has practiced hard, the body flicker technique cannot compare to cage-level experts like Kisame and Itachi. Seeing Itachi's back getting further and further away, Sasuke became anxious. He shouted, "1 against 7, stop. I already know the truth about how you destroyed the Uchiha clan. You can't run away. Even if I chase you to the ends of the earth, I will kill you. If you don't stop, I will tell the Akatsuki everything about you. I want to kill everyone in Konoha, from the elderly to the babies, no one will be spared." Ahead, Itachi stopped immediately. 1 dozen Kisong? Kisame asked doubtfully. Itachi said, "Kisame, I'm sorry, there are some things I have to deal with. You go to the front and wait for me, I will solve it quickly." Kisame nodded. Understood. Kisame took the first step, Itachi waited there, and soon, Sasuke came closer. 1 against 7, I don't understand. The love between parents and family inheritance can't be compared to a village. Sasuke couldn't understand Itachi's thoughts. Itachi said calmly, "Without a village, how can there be a family? The destruction of a family can bring peace to the whole village. The death of hundreds of people can save the bloodshed of tens of thousands of people. Why not?" Sasuke looked ferocious and roared. "But you are also a member of the Uchiha clan. How can you do this?" Itachi said without changing his expression, "Yes, I am a member of the Uchiha clan, but I am also a villager of Konoha village. Besides, it's a rotten family with narrow family concepts. Such a family should not continue to stay in the ninja world. The Uchiha family needs rebirth and complete changes." Sasuke roared loudly, "You madman, you are simply unreasonable. Since you killed everyone, why did you leave me alone?" Advertisement. Itachi pointed at his eyes and said, "Why'd I keep you? Because you are my light. I will kill you, just like Uchiha Madara killed his brother Uchiha Azuna, and then take your eyes and gain eternal light." Hearing this, Sasuke seemed to feel relieved. "It seems that you really want to awaken the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. In this way, I will kill you without any psychological pressure." Itachi said in surprise, "Oh, you actually know the eternal Mangekyo? It seems that your eyes have also awakened to Mangekyo? Why, it doesn't feel good to witness the death of a friend with your own eyes." Sasuke, "No, I didn't turn on Mangekyo. I don't need the eyes I bought with my friend's life." Itachi frowned and said, "Then where did you get the news about eternal Mangekyo? Without Mangekyo Sharingan, you shouldn't be able to see the words on the stone tablet." Sasuke, "I know more than you think." Itachi glanced at Sasuke lightly and said, "Since Mangekyo has not been awakened, there is no need for me to waste my time with you. What I want is Mangekyo, not just any ordinary 3 Magatama. When did you turn on Mangekyo? Come to me again." After saying that, Itachi turned around and left. Sasuke sneered, "Do you think you can still walk away today? 1 against 7, today is the day you die." The next moment, Sasuke appeared behind Itachi and stabbed the kunai into Itachi's heart. But before he could be happy, Itachi's body suddenly turned into a flock of crows, dispersed with a loud cry, and then reunited at another place and transformed into Itachi again. "Did Mizuki even pass on his apparition to you? No wonder you had the guts to come to me. Unfortunately, this ninjutsu alone cannot kill me." Sasuke ducked behind Itachi again and repeated his old trick. But Itachi reacted faster, kicking sideways and back, and helping Commander in the chest. With a bang, Sasuke's back hit the tree. Before he could move, Itachi had already arrived in front of him and grabbed Sasuke's neck. You are still too weak now, it seems that you don't hate me enough. If you want to kill me, just practice for a few more years. As soon as he finished speaking, he opened Mangekyo in his left eye, and tears of blood flowed from the corner of his eye. In Tsukuyomi space, Sasuke returned to that bloody night and witnessed the horrific scene of his parents being killed again. My foolish brother, weep and hate, if you hadn't been of any use to me, you would have been killed by me that night. Itachi's voice lingered in Sasuke's mind, but this time, Sasuke's expression was much calmer. 1 against 7, your move is useless to me. Itachi looked at Sasuke in front of him. Suddenly, Sasuke disappeared into thin air. Before Itachi could react, he felt a sharp killing intent coming from behind him. What? This move isn't. Itachi was shocked, and he recognized Izanagi. Where did you learn that? Although Itachi was frightened, the red chakra overflowed from his body and Susanoo was summoned. Ding! With a sound, Sasuke's kunai pierced Susanoo and broke. Itachi turned around and looked into Sasuke's eyes. The expected blindness of one eye did not occur. Sasuke's eyes were still intact. What on earth is going on? Itachi was confused. Sasuke looked at the red half-skeleton giant in front of him and threw away the broken kunai in his hand. Susanoo? The response is quick, but it's useless. Disapparation was activated again, and Sasuke and Itachi's positions change. Susanoo, you can't stop apparating either. Advertisement. Moreover, Sasuke used the routine invented by Mizuki, morphing and matching the detonating talisman. Itachi heard the sound of the detonating talisman under his feet and immediately left. With a boom, the detonating talisman exploded. It was the first time Sasuke used this tactic, but he didn't calculate the time when the detonating talisman would explode. It seems that you learned a lot from Mizuki, but I don't have time to waste with you. That's it for today. As soon as he finished speaking, Itachi's body turned into a flock of crows, flew away, and disappeared into the woods in a blink of an eye. Itachi is gone. Sasuke roared. 1 against 7, don't leave. If you leave, I will take revenge on Konoha now. I will raze Konoha to the ground and kill all the villagers in Konoha. Don't you love Konoha more than your family? Then I will completely destroy what you love. Itachi's voice sounded from all around. My stupid brother, I advise you not to die. You cannot cause any harm to Konoha now. If you go to Konoha, you will not survive for 5 minutes. If you want to kill me, then come to me after awakening Mangekyo Sharingan. You are too far behind now. Facing such a weak you, I can't even get interested in fighting. How could Sasuke be so willing? 1 against 7, come back here. Otherwise, I will expose the fact that you were ordered by the 3rd Hokage to infiltrate the Akatsuki organization as a spy. I'm going to make sure you have no place in the Akatsuki organization. Itachi's voice sounded again, but the volume was extremely low. It's up to you. No one will believe anything without evidence. The voice completely faded away. Sasuke was angry, but there was nothing he could do. Itachi really wanted to leave, but he really couldn't catch up. Suddenly, he turned his head and looked back and said, come out. From behind the stone, Shang Phosphorus came out. Well, I said I was passing by, do you believe it? When Sasuke saw that it was Shanglin, he had no intention of paying attention to her and chased in the direction where Itachi disappeared. Although he may not be able to catch it, he still wants to chase it. At this time, the fragrant phosphorus also came. Sasuke frowned and asked, why are you following me? I'm going for revenge, and I don't need outsiders to get involved. Shang Ling said, I can sense ninjutsu and can help you find someone. Sasuke immediately asked, can you sense Itachi's position? Shang Phosphorus nodded and said, yes, okay, help me find Itachi. If you have any requests, just ask. Shang Phosphorus. I don't have any requirements, I'm just along the way. After saying that, Shang Phosphorus pointed in a direction. Sasuke frowned and said, are you sure this is the direction? Shang Phosphorus nodded. Okay, in fact, Itachi wasn't in that direction at all, and Karen pointed in the wrong direction on purpose. She knew that Sasuke was no match for Itachi, and she didn't want to see Sasuke die, so she told a white lie. So, Sasuke followed the direction pointed by Shang Phosphorus. After walking for half an hour, an old man in white robes suddenly appeared in front of him. Stop it, Sasuke. Hate will only blind your eyes, and you have gone astray. Furthermore, the ninja world is about to usher in horrific changes. As the reincarnation of Indra, you shouldn't waste time and energy like this. Sasuke frowned at the other person and said, do you want to stop me from killing Itachi? Then, I will kill you first. Chapter 116. Entering Mount Myoboku, Gamamaru's conspiracy. Sasuke threw an ignited detonating talisman in front of him, and at the same time performed disapparation. He wants to slow the opponent down and blow him up to death. But this time, the apparition failed. The positions of both parties have not been exchanged. Boom. The detonating talisman exploded, and Sasuke screamed and flew backwards, his chest a bloody mess. Through the blasted chest cavity, you can see the damaged internal organs inside. It looked like he was going to die. Sage of 6 paths. I just said 2 sentences, why did you commit suicide? Kaoru exclaimed. Sasuke-kun. She rushed to Sasuke's side, lifted up her sleeves and moved her arms to Sasuke's mouth, shouting anxiously. Bite me quickly, bite me quickly. Sasuke's consciousness was still there, but he didn't know that the blood of phosphorus could heal wounds. So, he refused to bite. Shang Liao became anxious and shouted. Bite me, my blood has a healing effect. Hurry up, it will be too late if you don't bite me. Upon hearing this, Sasuke immediately opened his mouth and took a bite, breaking the skin and sucking the blood. Sure enough, as the blood poured down his stomach, his injuries began to recover quickly. As for Shang Phosphorus, her face was red with embarrassment. Although she was losing blood, she was in pain and happy at the same time. Soon, Sasuke fully recovered. It has to be said that fragrant phosphorus is much stronger than medical ninja. Even if Tsunade comes, it may not have this effect. Shang Phosphorus, thank you. Sasuke said a rare thank you. Shang Ling hesitated and said in a low voice. No, you're welcome. I'm willing to be bitten by Sasuke-kun. Sasuke stood up and looked at the Sage of Six Paths floating in the air. Who are you? Why does apparition not work on you? Sage of Six Paths. Sasuke, I'm your daddy. Shang Ling opened his mouth wide and said in disbelief. Is Sasuke-kun's father so old? Sasuke exploded. I'm your grandpa. Sage of Six Paths. I am Sage of Six Paths, and you are the reincarnation of Indra. Indra is my son, so you are also my son. Next, I will tell you everything, and you will understand after listening. Sasuke said angrily. I'm going to die if you pretend to be a god or a ghost. At the same time, Mizuki had arrived outside Konoha village, but still found no sign of Sasuke. Where did you go? It's very sad, seeing that next month is coming, Naruto is missing, and so is Sasuke. If this continues, by next month, the only ones who can be granted a refund will be Nobita and Xiao Li. No, we must find him before the end of the month. He separated hundreds of shadow clone and spread out to search for traces of Sasuke. As a result, within half an hour, a shadow clone was automatically released and the memory was fed back. Mount Myoboku's toad. Mizuki's eyes lit up. He hurriedly followed it, and after getting closer, he fell to the ground, turned into liquid, and moved forward. Soon, he saw a female toad in the woods. It is indeed Shima Sennin from Mount Myoboku. Mizuki lurked aside, calmly. Advertisement Shima Sennin was carrying a vegetable basket and catching bugs. All kinds of bugs could not escape capture as long as she saw them. Little Naruto likes to eat the bugs I made. I must catch more today. Mizuki was delighted that Naruto was indeed at Mount Myoboku. He continued to hide aside, watching Shima Sennin catch insects. Soon, Shima Sennin's basket was full, and she was seen jumping away. Mizuki immediately followed. Shima Sennin came to a river and walked up the river bank for a while, arriving at a lotus pond. I saw her looking around, then jumped in with a plop. After entering the water, she dived to the bottom and passed through an underwater tunnel. When she surfaced again, the surrounding environment had changed drastically. Huge mushrooms, various strange plants and giant insects are completely different from the ninja world. The air here is different from the outside world, fresher and full of some mysterious energy. This is Mount Myoboku. Shima Sennin carried the basket and happily went back to make insect lunch. Little did she know that someone was following her to this summoning holy land. Is this Mount Myoboku? It's really well hidden. Mizuki came out of the water and looked around. Let's find Naruto first. He has been coming to Mount Myoboku for several days and has not returned. I don't know what he is doing. He turned back into liquid form and started looking around. It's less conspicuous this way. At the same time, in the temple, the great toad sage, who was sleeping with his eyes closed, suddenly opened his eyes. There is a strange human presence intruding into Mount Myoboku. Who is it? What a strong chakra aura, even comparable to a tailed beast. Little Naruto already has enough chakra, but compared to this person, it is far inferior. There is also this rich aura of life. Ordinary humans will never be able to reach this level. Compared with my Toad clan, it is not bad. Gamamaru immediately guessed that the person coming was Mizuki. Because from Sage of Six Paths, Gamamaru knew that Mizuki could swallow life force. Now I feel that there is a strong vitality in the human body. If it's not Mizuki, who could it be? The opponent did not come here through summoning, but entered through the entrance. It seems that he came prepared. Thinking of this, it opened its mouth and screamed, and ripples appeared in the air. Strangely, there was no sound at all. In the black pool, a large amount of black liquid flows out from the mouth of the stone toad, pouring into the pool continuously. This black liquid is not water, but toad oil. It can be burned to enhance the power of fire-style ninjutsu, and can also be used to help senjutsu practitioners realize the power of nature. On the stone steps by the pool, Naruto was smeared with toad oil and was meditating quietly, feeling the power of nature. With the help of toad oil, the power of nature continuously converged on his body. Fukasaku Sennin stood aside with a stick in his hand and stared closely at him, almost ready to take action if he disagreed. The practice of senjutsu on Mount Myoboku is an extremely dangerous process. If you accidentally absorb too much natural power, your body will turn into a frog. If you don't stop it in time, you will lose your body and turn into a stone frog. Next to the pool, there are stone frog statues. These are all the results of people who failed to practice immortality in the past. Suddenly, the air suddenly fluctuated, and Fukasaku Sennin's expression changed, and he turned his head to look towards the temple. The sound emitted by the Great Toad Sage is high-frequency ultrasonic waves. Humans can't hear it, but toads can, and it sounded extremely harsh to the ears of a toad. What happened? Advertisement. Why did the Great Toad Sage suddenly issue such a high-level frog cry warning? Could it be that the stink snakes in Ryuchi Cave launched a massive attack? It was attracted by the sound and ignored it. As a result, Naruto's body immediately transformed into a frog. Seeing this, Fukasaku hurriedly hit Naruto on the back with a stick. "Ah, it hurts? Grandpa Fukasaku, could you please be gentler? Every time you use such force, your bones will be broken." However, Fukasaku looked solemn and lost interest in chatting. "Naruto, wipe off the toad oil on your body immediately. Today's senjutsu practice ends here." Naruto asked, "What happened? Why did it end so early today?" Fukasaku said, "I have urgent matters to deal with, and I can't guide you in your cultivation for the time being." After saying that, he quickly jumped towards the temple. Soon, both Fukasaku and Shima arrived at the temple. When they saw Great Toad Sage's serious expression, they immediately realized something was wrong. "Master, what happened?" Shima asked. Gamamaru said, "There are humans sneaking into Mount Myoboku. The chakra aura is unfamiliar, but the amount of chakra is extremely high, and the body also contains extremely rich life energy. My guess is, it's a ninja named Mizuki. He came in through the entrance. Have any of you been out?" Shima said, "I went out to look for ingredients and just came back. But I was very vigilant along the way, no one should follow me." Gamamaru said, "This one named Mizuki is a 10-tails larva with many tricks. It is normal for him to follow you quietly and you can't notice him." Fukasaku said, "Master, where is that man? Let's catch him immediately and execute him. Since he came to the door on his own initiative, we took the opportunity to deal with him." Gamamaru shook his head. "Mizuki has the Rinnegan, and his strength is unpredictable. You are definitely no match. Even if Bunta and the others do it together, I'm afraid it won't work. What should we do?" Shima was a little anxious. Gamamaru said, "The other party sneaked into Mount Myoboku, probably to find Naruto. Bring Naruto here immediately. Mizuki will definitely come, then I will take care of it myself." Shima asked, "Can you do that?" Gamamaru said, "Although I haven't done anything for 1,000 years, it is still no problem to deal with a Mizuki. Moreover, the temple has a powerful barrier. As long as Mizuki comes in, he will never be able to get out." After speaking, it sighed, "Hey, it's an old bone, but it still has to fight and kill." Fukasaku immediately left the temple, found Naruto, and brought him to the temple. Gamamaru didn't sleep either, and personally guided Naruto to practice senjutsu, with Fukasaku accompanying him. Mount Myoboku is huge. Mizuki searched and searched but could not find where Naruto was. Not even a few toads were seen. Why'd I go to so much trouble to find him? I can just follow Shima. So, he returned to the entrance and searched in the direction Shima left, and soon found Shima who was cooking. Looking at the various processed bugs in the leaf bowl, Mizuki couldn't help but want to vomit. Is this thing for human consumption? Soon Shima had cooked the rice, put it in a basket and carried it away. Mizuki continued to follow and arrived outside the temple. Through the temple door, Mizuki saw Naruto who was practicing inside, as well as the huge Gamamaru. He immediately realized something was wrong. "Do you think I haven't read the original work? When did the practice of Mount Myoboku Senjutsu require the guidance of the big toad himself? This old toad may have noticed that I entered Mount Myoboku and deliberately led me here. But having said that, I have no enmity with the Mount Myoboku Toad clan, so there is no need to ambush me." Chapter 117. Petrochemical Crisis. Thinking of this, Mizuki simply showed his true colors. He didn't know that Sage of Six Paths and Gamamaru had conspired against him, so he was very upright. "Who is it?" The moment Mizuki appeared, Fukasaku and Shima in the temple immediately noticed it. Mizuki smiled and said, "Don't get excited, I don't mean any harm. I am Mizuki, the first-generation Hokage of Phoenix Village in the Land of Birds, and I am also Naruto's master. Naruto disappeared suddenly a few days ago. I guessed that he was at Mount Myoboku, so I apologize for taking the liberty of coming. He is very polite." At this time, Naruto heard a familiar voice and wanted to stop practicing. His eyelids were moving and seemed to open. Fukasaku immediately said, "Continue to practice and cannot interrupt now." Naruto then continued to practice quietly. Fukasaku said to Mizuki, "Naruto accidentally used the summoning technique to come to Mount Myoboku. We saw that he had good qualifications, so we kept him and guided him in practicing senjutsu. It should be us who are presumptuous, it speaks politely." Mizuki smiled and said, "It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I have long heard of the name of Mount Myoboku, and I have also heard of the Toad clan's celestial arts. Naruto is lucky enough to have this opportunity to practice the senjutsu of Mount Myoboku. As his master, I am happy for him." Gamamaru narrowed his eyes slightly. The magic of the Toad clan has not appeared in the ninja world for a long time. In recent decades, the only ones who have practiced Mount Myoboku senjutsu are Jiraiya and Minato. But they have never used senjutsu in the ninja world. Logically speaking, they should have no one to guide them. Mizuki said he had heard about it for a long time. This made Gamamaru realize that Mizuki did know a lot, as Sage of Six Paths said. This also made him more convinced of the identity of the Mizuki 10 Tails larva. Immortal Shima greeted politely. Well, I just prepared a sumptuous lunch. Come and taste it too, it's delicious. Mizuki hurriedly waved his hand and said, No, forget it, I don't like eating bugs. Shima's Sennin looked regretful and said, Hey, that's such a pity, I missed a delicious food. At this time, Great Toad Sage said, Mizuki, I saw you in a dream. I have some prophecies about you, do you want to listen? Oh, about my prophecy? Can you still see the future? Mizuki was immediately interested, but still pretended not to know what Gamamaru would predict. Fukasaku Sage said, The Great Toad Sage is the ancestor of Mount Myoboku. His ability is to see future scenes in dreams. He has saved the ninja world several times with the help of prophecies. Mizuki deliberately sighed. Is it so magical? In this case, I really want to hear the prophecy about me. But he is curious about where his future self will take the ninja world. I'm all ears. After saying that, he walked into the temple gate and came to Gamamaru. As he got closer, Mizuki looked at the old toad more carefully. Brown skin, white belly, old face, sitting posture free and easy. Wearing a black doctor's hat on his head, a crystal ball hung around his neck with the word, oil, written on it. Beneath him is a green throne, with the word, immortal, written in big letters directly in front of the throne. On the table on the right are wine bottles and glasses. It turned out to be an alcoholic. Behind him is a row of huge scrolls, recording something unknown. At this time, Gamamaru said, Fukasaku, Shima, take little Naruto outside first. You won't be able to hear what you say next. After Fukasaku and Shima took Naruto out, Gamamaru closed the temple door with a wave of his hand. Mizuki has no doubt about him. Great Toad Sage, please clarify my prophecy. Advertisement Gamamaru said, Actually, I am more curious about your past than your future. In other words, it's your origin. Mizuki was expressionless and said calmly, I come from Konoha village and grew up in Konoha. My past is very simple and there is nothing to say. Gamamaru shook his head. The real Mizuki is dead, you are just a fake Mizuki. Mizuki was shocked, but did not panic at all. He pretended to be confused and asked, Where do you start talking about this? Gamamaru said, Stop pretending, do you really think that Mizuki's soul has completely disappeared? Mizuki raised an eyebrow. Speaking of which, there is really no need to hide it. Obviously, the other party already knows that the soul of the real Mizuki has entered the Pure Land. Okay, I admit it, I'm not a real Mizuki, but what does this have to do with you? Are you his father or his mother? Even if I want revenge, it won't be your turn, Gamamaru said. Mizuki's life or death has nothing to do with me, and revenge is out of the question. I'm just curious, what is your purpose in coming to the ninja world? Mizuki smiled and said, Don't you know how to predict? Can't you predict what I want to do? The big toad was speechless. In fact, it doesn't predict anything about Mizuki. In fact, in its recent predictions, the development trajectory of the ninja world is exactly the same as what was predicted before. Naruto apprenticed to Jiraiya. Tsunade became the 5th Hokage. Obito launched the 4th Ninja War. It was as if Mizuki's appearance had no impact on the ninja world. But in fact, the development trajectory of the ninja world has completely changed. This horrified Gamamaru. The sacred tree brought by Otsutsuki Ashiki and Otsutsuki Kagaya was not so awesome. I know even if you don't tell me, your true identity is a 10 Tails larva, right? Mizuki opened his mouth. Hey guy, how did you figure out that I'm from 10 Tails? 10 Tails is a tree, but I am a human. There's a tree and a person, you old toad, can't you tell the species apart? Without waiting for Mizuki to answer, Gamamaru continued. Thousands of years ago, 2 Otsutsuki clan members brought a 10 Tails larva. After planting it, it madly absorbed the life force of the ninja world and almost destroyed the ninja world. And you also have the ability to absorb life force. The rich vitality in your body is all absorbed by you from the outside world, right? You learned the lesson from the failure of the 10 Tails. You didn't dare to blatantly devour the life force of the ninja world. Instead, you lurked in the ninja world as Mizuki and swallowed it quietly, right? Good guy. Mizuki called him a good guy. Just because of this, you characterize yourself as a 10 Tails seedling? It's simply unreasonable. With all that said, what do you mean? Do you want to kill me? For this reason, the two sides are obviously in a hostile relationship, so there is no need for Mizuki to be polite when speaking. Gamamaru. I still remember the disaster that sacred tree caused to the ninja world thousands of years ago. I will never allow a new sacred tree to grow, so it's better for you to die. Mizuki sneered. Haha, you want to kill me? Do you think you are Otsutsuki Hagoromo? I am not afraid of all the toads on Mount Myoboku put together. Tamamaru said calmly. Although I am not a fighting genius of the Toad Clan, I have lived for thousands of years and absorbed the power of nature all the time. The magical power in my body has already reached a higher level. My strength has surpassed the 6 pads level. Even the original Hagoromo is no match for me. It's more than enough to kill you. Advertisement. Mizuki raised an eyebrow. Beyond the 6 pads level, he is just a toad. Is he so strong? Or is it bragging to scare people? Stop talking nonsense here. Why don't you say you are a god beyond the 6 pads level? Mizuki sneered. Gamamaru looked at Mizuki with a calm expression. Whether it was an illusion or not, Mizuki felt that the wrinkles on the old toad's face seemed to be less than before. It's useless to say more. Anyway, your failure has been doomed from the moment you entered the temple. Look at your body. Mizuki's expression changed drastically. He felt that his body was expanding, and that was indeed the case. His height of 1.8 meters has exceeded 3 meters in the blink of an eye, and his waistline is also getting thicker. The most important thing is that his limbs have become inflexible. How is this going? When he looked down, he saw that his hands and feet had turned into frog claws, and his skin was as gray as stone. Power of nature? I obviously didn't absorb the power of nature, so why is my body petrified? Gamamaru said, you know so much, it seems that you have been lurking in the ninja world for a long time. Unfortunately, all your plans have come to an end today. From the moment the temple doors close, the barrier has been opened. The natural power of the outside world is absorbed and compressed by the barrier. The concentration of natural power here has exceeded the outside world by 100 times. Such a high concentration of natural force will fill any living object and cause it to become petrified. If you have never practiced magic, you are destined to turn into stone. As he spoke, the wrinkles on Gamamaru's face became fewer. It's getting younger. The area of petrification on Mizuki's body is getting larger and larger. The chakra in Mizuki's body crazily combines with the power of nature to prevent the petrification of the body. But there are too many forces of nature, and chakra is simply not enough. Can't stay here any longer. After he entered Mount Myoboku, he left the Flying Thunder God spell beside the entrance pool, so that he could escape in case of danger. Flying Thunder God. The space fluctuated for a moment, but the next moment, Mizuki found that he was still in the same place and had not jumped away at all. It's useless. The temple barrier has sealed the space, you can't escape. Mizuki said angrily. Then I will kill you first, then destroy this temple and break this damn barrier. Wind style. Spiral shuriken. This move was thrown directly at Todemaru. But Tamamaru sat there motionless, his face extremely calm, looking at the rosin shuriken flying in front of him. He opened his mouth and spit. This mouthful of 1,000-year-old phlegm hit the rosin shuriken with a squeak, directly extinguishing the rosin shuriken. F*K. Mizuki's eyes almost popped out of his head. What kind of strength does this old toad have? He couldn't fight anymore, and Mizuki had lost the desire to fight. If you can escape, that's good. He used Tenryu's liquefaction function and wanted to sneak underground and escape. But the petrified body could not be liquefied. And the remaining unpetrified body, after being liquefied, still could not stop the crazy influx of natural power, and was also petrified at an extremely fast speed. It's useless. The power of nature enters the body and the process of petrification cannot be stopped in any way. The giant toad looked down at the struggling Mizuki. At this time, it no longer looked as old as before and turned into a young toad. Soon, Mizuki was completely petrified and turned into a stone frog. Chapter 118. It's impossible to kill me. A giant stone frog more than 30 meters high stands in the temple. The temple is almost full, even Gamamaru's size was compared to him. This is the first time I've seen such a big stone frog. As expected of a 10-tails larva, over the thousands of years, many ninjas have come to Mount Myoboku and practiced senjutsu, and many have failed to practice and turned into stone frogs. The hundreds of stone frogs next to the oil pond were transformed by people who failed to practice immortality. Stone frogs range in size from large to nearly 10 meters, while small ones are about the same size as an average adult. The reason why the size is different is because the amount of chakra of cultivators is different. The more chakra a person has, the more natural power will accumulate in his body after failure, and his body will become larger. Mizuki's chakra amount is extremely rare, so it only became so large after being petrified. To the point where Tamamaru, who had seen so much, couldn't help but sigh. By the way, 10-tails larva shouldn't die that easily, right? Tamamaru let go of his senses. When it felt the vitality that had not been completely extinguished in the stone frog's body, the corners of its mouth split unconsciously. Sure enough, it's not that easy to kill. That's great. As long as it is not completely dead, it means it can still be planted, grow, bloom, and bear fruit. If you eat enough fruits of the sacred tree, you can evolve into a god, transcend everything, and become immortal. Todemaru has determined that Mizuki is the larva of 10 tails, a sacred tree that can bear fruits. There was an expression of yearning and expectation on his face. But then, his expression dimmed. Hagoromo's will has not dissipated yet, and now is not the time. However, he does not have much left of chakra. If he consumes it a few more times, it will disappear. When the time comes, our Toad clan will rise again. Back then, Otsutsuki took advantage of us being defeated and despicably attacked us, and hunted us down for 10,000 years, forcing us to hide in this remote corner and survive. And now, the opportunity to take back our homeland has come. It looked at the stone frog with fiery eyes. Let this sacred tree bear fruit. After I eat it, my strength will be further enhanced. When the time comes, I can devour Otsutsuki Kagaya, which is equivalent to eating a fruit. In addition, there is a sacred tree at Otsutsuki Ishiki's place. When he appears, I can take it. So that's 3 fruits. By then, my strength will be close to that of God. The smile on its face became more and more unrestrained. The corners of his mouth were raised, as if he had seen a bright future. After being happy for a while, its eyes returned to the stone frog. To prevent accidents, let's create a seal. As soon as it finished speaking, it opened its mouth and sprayed out a beam of chakra, covering the stone frog. Green sealing techniques appeared on the surface of the stone frog, densely packed with no dead ends. Immediately afterwards, these sealing techniques penetrated into the stone frog. On the surface, this is an ordinary stone frog, no different from the stone frogs next to the oil pond. Looking at his masterpiece, Gamamaru was very satisfied. In this way, even at close range, Hagoromo will not see anything abnormal, and will only think that Mizuki is dead. Toadmaru dispersed the barrier, and the natural power inside the temple immediately dissipated. Its young body also aged rapidly, turning into the same old appearance before in a blink of an eye. Damn Otsutsuki, if that sacred tree hadn't absorbed most of the life force of this planet, causing the power of nature to be greatly reduced, I wouldn't have become this old. It hates advertisement, but what it hates is not that the sacred tree swallowed up the life force of the planet, but that the fruit of the sacred tree was not eaten by itself. After waving his hand, the temple door opened, and Gamamaru called Fukasaku and Shima in. Mizuki is dead. The crisis in the ninja world is over. Take the stone frog out and put it next to the oil pond. Fukasaku and Shima looked at the stone frog in front of them and couldn't help but open their mouths. They knew it was Mizuki's turn, but it was too big. Sir, this is too big, we can't lift it at all. Besides, the door is too small, so I can't lift it out. After Fukasaku gathered the power of nature and transformed it into the magical chakra, he could easily lift a stone frog 4 to 5 meters high above his head. Immortal magic gives it great strength, and it can even carry boulders more than 10 meters high. But the stone frog in front of me was more than 30 meters tall, and it knew it couldn't be lifted without even trying. I was negligent. Gamamaru returned to his normal and amiable appearance, and spoke very kindly. He raised his claws and waved, and a space gate swallowed up the stone frog and moved it to the side of the oil pool.
Outside the door, Naruto paused his training. Grandpa Fukasaku, when I was practicing just now, I seemed to hear someone calling me.
Fukasaku said, no one, you heard wrong. Shima also said, little Naruto, you must be focused when practicing senjutsu. You actually think about other things while practicing. This is very dangerous. Naruto scratched his head and said, oh, I know, I will pay attention in the future. Fukasaku said again, let's go. Great Toad Sage's guidance to you has ended. We won't stay here to disturb him. Let's go back to the oil pool and continue practicing. When Naruto returned to the oil pool and looked at the newly appeared giant stone frog, he became curious again. This stone frog has never existed before. Fukasaku explained. Some toads have nothing to do and like to carve. I don't know whose masterpiece this stone frog is, it is so big. With Naruto's IQ, it was easy to be fooled. Under Fukasaku's guidance, he continued to practice and realize the power of nature. At 2h a carat at plus in the temple, only Toadpill was left. Suddenly it looked at the sky outside the temple, and its thought came true. Above the oil pool, Sage of Six Paths appeared out of thin air, looking at the giant stone frog below. Immediately afterwards, he came to the temple. Gamamaru, I didn't expect you to get rid of him so easily. Gamamaru said, I didn't expect this. He entered Mount Myoboku by himself. If he didn't come, I really couldn't do anything with him. Sage of Six Paths smiled and said, this hidden danger has been eliminated, so we don't have to worry about anything. Thanks to you this time, the ninja world owes you another favor. Gamamaru. Nothing is owed. Our Toad clan has been living here since the day we were born. Since we are all part of the ninja world, it is also our responsibility to protect the ninja world. The two talked for a while and Sage of Six Paths left. Gamamaru showed a kind smile, yawned, and then fell asleep. Beside the oil pool, Naruto's body, plus 3 shadow clone, sit quietly and appreciate the power of nature. Suddenly, the 4 Narutos lost control at the same time, their faces became several times larger, and their bodies began to swell. This is a precursor to petrification. Fukasaku immediately hit Naruto on the back with a stick, knocking the natural power out of his body. The 3 shadow clones also dissipated on their own. Don't be distracted and focus, Fukasaku scolded. Suddenly, it noticed that the light had become brighter. When it looked up, it found that the giant stone frog that Mizuki had transformed into was gone. There are some dreamlike bubbles left in the air. Before it could figure out what was happening, it felt a dangerous aura coming from behind. Advertisement, not good. It immediately wanted to hide, but unfortunately it was too late. Death to lousy. Mizuki appeared behind Fukasaku, a black rod came out of his hand and pierced Fukasaku's heart directly. Naruto stared at this scene with wide eyes, already stunned. Master Mizuki, what? What is going on? Mizuki came to Naruto and said, Naruto, this is all a conspiracy. I will explain the details later. Now leave Mount Myoboku with me. He grabbed Naruto and activated Flying Thunder God, and the two disappeared together. When they reappeared, they were already at the entrance and exit of Mount Myoboku, next to the pool. Looking towards the direction of the temple, Mizuki sneered. I told you, it's impossible to kill me. Toad Clan, I remember you. After saying that, he jumped into the water with Naruto, passed through the underwater passage as fast as possible, and left Mount Myoboku. When the two left the lotus pond, Naruto asked, Master, why did you kill Grandpa Fukasaku? Although they had only been together for a few days, Naruto and the Toads had already developed feelings for each other. Seeing Fukasaku die in front of him, Naruto couldn't accept it for a while. Mizuki said, "Naruto, this is all a conspiracy against me. Next, I will explain it to you in detail." Naruto immediately said, "I know, the great Toad Sage said that you are 10 tails and that you will destroy the ninja world, but don't worry, Master, I didn't believe it." Mizuki glanced at Naruto. Although Naruto said he didn't believe in the giant toad, Mizuki clearly felt that Naruto's tone of voice was not as free and easy as before. It was obvious that Naruto had doubts about Mizuki's identity. He didn't know who to believe, or in other words, he didn't dare to believe anyone. "I once believed in third generation so much, but it turns out that third generation has been lying to itself. As a result, Naruto is no longer so easy to deceive. It's just that he has learned a lot and has doubts in his heart, but he doesn't say anything." Mizuki saw that Naruto was still confused and didn't blame him. After all, Naruto had very little information and couldn't analyze who was real and who was fake. The reason why that old toad said I am 10 tails is because I can absorb the vitality of plants and animals, but that is the effect of my ninjutsu and has nothing to do with 10 tails. Mizuki shook his head. Naruto listened to Mizuki's explanation and secretly breathed a sigh of relief. "Master, since it's a ninjutsu, let's go see the great Toad Sage and explain it clearly." Mizuki frowned. Naruto nodded. Signed, Mizuki looked gloomy and nodded. "Yes, I changed it. I've already seen that old toad, it didn't listen to any explanation and just killed me." Mizuki nodded and asked, "Have you signed a summoning blood contract with the Toad Clan?" With that said, Mizuki grabbed Naruto and used Flying Thunder God again. Naruto said, "Fortunately, Master is fine. Just now, it tricked me into entering the temple, and then used the barrier to inject a large amount of natural power into my body, turning me into a stone frog. If I hadn't realized something was wrong and activated Izanagi in advance, I would have died on Mount Myoboku today. Kushina, quickly, use the contract seal to seal the summoning contract on Naruto." This time, he flew directly back to Phoenix Village. "They will put you under house arrest, force me to enter Mount Myoboku again to rescue you, and then kill me." "Children, so innocent," Naruto exclaimed. "Master, did you transform that giant stone frog? That old toad will still use you to deal with me. It will definitely use the reverse summoning technique to summon you to Mount Myoboku." Chapter 119. Sasuke Cannot Be Found. Contract seal is a sealing technique developed by the Uzumaki clan. This technique can sever the contractual relationship between the ninja and the summoning beast, so that the ninja can no longer summon the summoning beast. On the Night of Nine Tails, Minato used this trick to cut off the summoning relationship between Obito and Nine Tails, and successfully freed Nine Tails from Obito's control. Minato's sealing techniques were all taught by Kushina. Therefore, Kushina will naturally also be sealed by contract. Just cast the contract seal on Naruto to cut off the summoning relationship between Naruto and the Toad Clan of Mount Myoboku. After being cut off, Naruto cannot summon the Toad, nor can he be taken away by the Toad using the reverse summoning technique. "Naruto, you are finally back." When Kushina saw Naruto, her worries immediately dropped. Mizuki urged, "Let's talk about it later. Let's cancel the summoning contract on Naruto first. If it's too late, it will be too late." Good. Although Kushina was full of doubts, she immediately cast the contract seal on Naruto. As for Naruto, he didn't resist and allowed Kushina to seal it. He just looked around, his eyebrows suspicious. Didn't the Toads say that the concentration of natural power outside Mount Myoboku is very low and cannot be used to practice celestial arts? Why, I feel that the concentration of natural power here is not too far from Mount Myoboku. When the sealing spell enveloped Naruto, Mizuki breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, we acted quickly, otherwise it would have been too late by the time those toads reacted. He still had to rely on Naruto to collect the wool from his system, but he couldn't let him lose it again. Mount Myoboku, Gamamaru woke up from his sleep. It had just woken up and frowned. What happened? Mizuki has obviously turned into a stone frog and been sealed. Why is the future scene in the prophecy still as weird as before? Can he still escape? Or is he not the one who affects the future? At this moment, it heard a shrill frog cry from the bottom of the mountain. "Old man, who killed you?" Gamamaru recognized Shima's voice and immediately let go of his senses, then his expression changed. "Where's Mizuki?" Beside the oil pool, the stone frog that Mizuki turned into has disappeared. Where did it go? Did Yuya sense something and stole it? It immediately took out a crystal ball and sprayed a breath of fairy energy on it. Mizuki's figure in Phoenix Village immediately appeared on the crystal ball. What on earth is going on? He has obviously been petrified and sealed by me. How could he escape? What method did he use? Tamamaru couldn't figure it out. Hateful. I shouldn't have gone into sleep to predict the future just now. I let him take the opportunity to escape. Damn it. I've already alerted the enemy, but I can't leave Mount Myoboku. It will be difficult to catch him again. Toadmaru looked ugly. The natural energy concentration in the outside world is too low. If it dares to leave Mount Myoboku, it will die of old age in minutes. So, it is very angry now. Suddenly, it thought of something. The fact that he was able to break into Mount Myoboku to find Naruto shows that he is very fond of Naruto. If I reverse summoning Naruto, will he risk sneaking in again? Thinking of this, Gamamaru immediately used the reverse summoning technique, trying to bring Naruto to Mount Myoboku, but nothing happened. Hateful. Advertisement, the Uzumaki clan's contract seal. Damn Mizuki, just wait for me, I will catch you again sooner or later. At this time, Shima came to the temple carrying Fukasaku's body. Master, please save my old man, he died miserably. Fukasaku is one of the 2 admirals under Gamamaru, so naturally he will not watch him die. It took out a talisman and threw it out. The talisman floated above Fukasaku and fell, sticking to Fukasaku's body. Green light burst out. When the green light dissipated, Fukasaku opened his eyes and came to life. Thank you sir for saving me, Gamamaru asked. Tell me about the situation, I want to know how Mizuki escaped. Fukasaku said, I don't know either, I just felt a bright light at that time. When I looked up, the stone frog had disappeared and there were dreamlike bubbles in the air. Immediately afterwards, I was attacked from behind and lost consciousness. A dreamy bubble. Gamamaru thought of something and murmured. If I remember correctly, it should be the forbidden technique Izanagi that the Uchiha clan can activate through the Sharingan. I was negligent and didn't expect this. Okay, you go down. Warn the clan members to be careful of Mizuki when operating in the ninja world in the future. The 2 sides have become enemies. If he meets one of our tribesmen, he will definitely kill him. After Fukasaku and Shima left, Gamamaru waited quietly. Sure enough, after a while, Sage of 6 Paths arrived. How did Mizuki escape? Sage of 6 Paths asked. Gamamaru. Izanagi. Yuya nodded and said, if you miss this opportunity, it will be difficult to kill him next time. Gamamaru. I can't leave Mount Myoboku, so I have to rely on you. Hagoromo. I will train Sasuke. Gamamaru. How did you convince Sasuke to deal with Mizuki? Hagoromo. His brother Uchiha Itachi has another eye that can come in handy, I will arrange it. Mizuki, what happened? And Naruto, where have you been these past few days? You don't know if you're coming back. Do you know that I'm worried about you? Kushina believes that Naruto has mastered the Flying Thunder God and wanting to come back is just a thought. So, she is very angry now. Looking at her wayward son, she felt that since Minato was away, as a mother, she should fulfill some of her father's responsibilities. When it's time to teach your children, don't be soft-hearted. Naruto felt the murderous intent, shrank his neck and said, Mom, it's not that I don't want to come back, it's that I can't come back. I can't fly back to Mount Myoboku with the Flying Thunder God. They said I can't leave until I practice Ninjutsu. So you can't blame me. Kushina frowned. What do those toads mean? It's not that easy to practice Ninjutsu. It took Minato several years to master it. If you don't let Naruto come back before he completes his cultivation, is it because you don't like us, mother and son? Forced to separate flesh and blood? Mizuki explained. The cause of this incident is me. Those toads wanted to kill me, so they deliberately banned Naruto from Mount Myoboku and lured me to die. Kushina asked in confusion. The Toad clan of Mount Myoboku never participates in the disputes between the villages in the ninja world. How did Mr. Jiraiya persuade them to take the initiative to deal with you? Mizuki shook his head and said, I don't care about Jiraiya. He explained the whole story and said casually, that big toad is not simple in mind. What do you mean? Kushina asked. Mizuki shook his head without explaining. In the temple, although he was petrified, he was not dead. He listened to every word Gamamaru said. Advertisement he already knew about Gamamaru's ambition. At this time, Mizuki said to Naruto, Naruto, I know you still have doubts about my identity. Master Mizuki. Naruto was a little ashamed. Mizuki waved his hand. This is human nature, it's normal for you to be suspicious. After that he took out a scroll and handed it to Naruto. This ninjutsu is called Tenuu. After you practice it, you will naturally know that I can swallow life force not because I am 10 tails. Heavenly Resentment U? Naruto frowned. The name is weird. The original form of this technique is the secret technique of Taki Ninja Village, Earth Resentment U. After completing this practice, you can extend your life by taking the heart of others, and you can also gain the chakra attribute of the person who was taken away. Kakuzu, the S-class rebel ninja of Taki Ninja Village, learned this technique and used it to gain immortality. He lived for nearly 90 years, but he was still young until he met me in the Land of Waves. I obtained the secret technique of Earth Resentment U from Kakuzu, and after improving it, I obtained Heaven Resentment U. The effect of Heavenly Resentment U is even more terrifying. It can take away the vitality of all living creatures, whether it is humans, animals, or plants. It is similar to the legendary 10 Tails. This is why the Toad clan regards me as 10 Tails. Mizuki explained in detail and gave Naruto the U scroll of Heavenly Resentment. At this time, Naruto's doubts about Mizuki had completely faded away. Master, I shouldn't doubt you. From the day I became a disciple of Mizuki, my life completely changed and became beautiful and hopeful. In the end, he actually became suspicious of his master because of a few words from Toad. This is so inappropriate, Naruto was ashamed at this point. Mizuki touched Naruto's head and smiled, not caring. As children, their ability to distinguish right from wrong is not that strong, so there is no need to be too harsh. Kushina encouraged, Naruto, it's your fault this time. As a disciple, how can you doubt the master? I can never make this mistake again in the future. Naruto nodded heavily. Then he handed the scroll to Mizuki and said, Master, I believe in you. He was holding fire in his heart and had nowhere to vent it. The shadow clone he sent out automatically dispersed when they were petrified before, and no trace of Sasuke was found before they dispersed. So you don't need to use this secret technique to prove your innocence. As a reminder, this secret technique is very difficult. It surpasses S level and reaches SS level. If you want to learn it, you have to work harder. But no one could be found, and Mizuki became annoyed. I wish I could find Sasuke immediately, hang him up and whip him with a belt. We have to get Sasuke back. The question is, where did Sasuke go? He once again separated out hundreds of shadow clones and had them spread out to find Sasuke. But their efforts were doomed to be in vain. After Naruto found out, he also sent out shadow clone to look for him. No, if you keep holding it in like this, you will develop mental illness. After searching for several days, shadow clone searched almost all over the ninja world, but still found nothing. If the system hadn't said that Sasuke was not dead, Mizuki would have planned to hold a funeral. Mizuki smiled and said, "Since you call me master, you must practice the secret techniques master taught you, and you must learn them." He narrowed his eyes, murderous intent flashing in his eyes. It's almost the end of the month, and the system's grant return opportunities are about to be reset. Old Toad of Mount Myoboku, welcome my wrath, something must be done. Naruto brought it back, but there was also Sasuke, who was missing. Chapter 120. Chunin exam at the end of the year Earth Country, Rock Shinobi Village. Onoki looked at Laozi with doubt on his face. What a joke. As a Four Tails Jinchuriki, Four Tails escaped from the seal, and you are still alive? Tell me, who are you? Disguised as Laozi and sneaked into the village. What do you want? Tsuchikage's reaction was that of a normal person. As we all know, Jinchuriki will definitely die after being separated from the tailed beast. He was only limited by intelligence and did not know that Mizuki could resurrect the dead, so he doubted Laozi's identity. Laozi said angrily, Onoki, don't think that just because you are Tsuchikage, you can slander Laozi at will. Laozi is Laozi. Onoki's eyes widened and he asked, did you really lose Four Tails? Laozi's tone of voice, eyes, and attitude towards himself are something that others cannot learn from. He was already sure that the person in front of him was Laozi. Laozi nodded and said, I was careless. I lost Four Tails. I'm sorry for the village. I'll come back to collect my guilt and let you do whatever you want. Although he was at odds with Onoki and traveled away from the village, he did not betray the Earth Country or Rock Shinobi Village. Four Tails was lost by him, and he felt guilty and returned to surrender. Onoki frowned and said, Four Tails is a valuable property of Rock Shinobi Village. Anyone who loses it should be executed. But before that, I need to find out what happened. Laozi then told the story. That day on the border of Earth Country, in the forest at the border with Grass Country, I met two Akatsuki members, Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame. Hoshigaki Kisami's water-style ninjutsu, as well as his sword Samahata, restrained me in Four Tails lava style. I lost in the end and was knocked unconscious by him. Onoki said angrily, how dare the Akatsuki organization do this? Who gave them the courage? Onoki has cooperated with the Akatsuki organization many times. In order not to lose the ninjas in his village, he hired the Akatsuki organization many times to launch wars and plunder against small villages in small countries. He had always thought that the Akatsuki organization was just a small organization with little success. Unexpectedly, the Akatsuki organization actually targeted the Jinchuriki in their own village. I can't bear it. Laozi continued. When I woke up, I was in Phoenix Village in the bird country, and the Four Tails in my body had also been removed. Onoki slapped the table angrily, eyebrows raised. That guy named Mizuki must have hired the Akatsuki. There were rumors in the ninja world that Mizuki was collecting tailed beasts, and 1 tail, 7 tails, and 9 tails were all in Phoenix Village. I didn't pay attention at the time, but now I find out that the rumors were indeed true. Damn it, you actually set your sights on me, Rock Shinobi Village. He, Mizuki, is looking for death. Pass my order, summon the Jonin in the village, and inform the daimyo that I will launch a war against the land of birds and recapture the Four Tails. Although Onoki is short in stature, he has a big temper. Even in his old age, he is still so fiery. If there is a disagreement, war will begin. Laozi immediately shouted, no. Onoki waved his hand and said, you, a sinner in this village, have no right to speak. Come on, take him to prison and choose a day. Advertisement before the word, death, came out of his mouth. Onoki paused and changed his words. It's too cheap to execute you. I will imprison you in Ghost Lantern City and let you suffer all kinds of torture. Onoki has never been a generous person, and Laozi is at odds with him. He couldn't find an opportunity before, but now the opportunity has come. Laozi said loudly, Onoki, you can't attack the country of birds, that Mizuki, he is too strong. Do you know why I am still alive after being taken out of Four Tails? Onoki's arrogant expression froze. Only then did he realize that he didn't even ask why Laozi was still alive. Yes, why are you still alive? Onoki was also curious. Laozi said, that Mizuki, his right eye is the eye of the legendary sage of 6 paths, Rinnegan. With the help of Rinnegan, he uses a ninjutsu called Rinne Tensai technique to communicate with the Pure Land and resurrect the dead. You know, in Phoenix Village, I also saw 4 huge meteorites hanging in the sky. It is said that 3 of them sealed 1 tail, 4 tails, and 7 tails respectively, and 1 sealed hundreds of ninjas in Sand Shinobi Village. Rinnegan. Onoki frowned deeply. Lao Zi added, actually, it was not Mizuki who hired people from the Akatsuki organization, but people from the Akatsuki organization who arrested me and put the blame on Mizuki. Otherwise, there is no need for him to resurrect me after extracting the 4 tails from my body. Onoki waved his hand and said, no matter what the truth is, it is a fact that Mizuki collects tailed beasts. His dangerous behavior will surely make him a public enemy of the ninja world. Although he has the Rinnegan, it's still unclear what the Rinnegan's abilities are. Our Rock Shinobi village is also one of the 5 largest villages in the ninja world. We have never seen big winds and waves. How can we be afraid of him? Although he said he was not afraid, he never said anything about starting a war. He put his hands behind his back and walked around. After thinking for a long time, he suddenly said, convene all the elders to discuss. Soon, all the top executives of Rock Shinobi village gathered in the conference room. It was still the original setup, with Onoki sitting at the head and Wangtu Kuratsuchi standing behind him. Onoki tells the story of how 4 tails was lost. 4 tails belongs to our Rock Shinobi village, we can't just throw it away like this. But that Mizuki has a Rinnegan. His strength is unknown and his abilities are unknown. If he rashly launches a war, he may lose more than he gains. So I called everyone here to discuss how to handle this matter. Elder A said, Rinnegan is the eye of the legendary sage of 6 paths. We don't know Rinnegan's abilities, so we really can't act rashly. We must first understand his specific abilities and analyze his weaknesses before we can act. Elder B. Mizuki is a traitorous ninja in Konoha village. Konoha must have information about him. Why don't we ask Konoha for it? Onoki directly denied it and said, Konoha will not give it. I even suspect that Mizuki defected to Konoha and established Phoenix Village. Konoha ordered it from behind. Isn't that Orochimaru a fake defector? Elder C. No way. Mizuki killed the 3rd Hokage. How could he be a fake defector? Onoki. Who knows how the 3rd Hokage died? It was all information released by Konoha. No one knows what the real situation is. Okay, it's not okay to ask Konoha for information. Even if they give it, we can't believe it. Let's find another way. Elder Ding. It's better to hire the Akatsuki organization and let them test Mizuki's strength. Onoki shook his head. No, the Akatsuki organization probably accepted Mizuki's employment. They were involved in the capture of 4 tails this time. It is absolutely not allowed to ask them to test Mizuki. Elder A. Why don't we send spies into Phoenix Village to find out the specific information about Mizuki? Or, wait until the next Chunin exam is organized, invite Genin from Phoenix Village to participate, and then find a way to get information about Mizuki from Genin. Onoki shook his head. I'm afraid spies are not good. There are only so many people in Phoenix Village. Whoever goes there will be very conspicuous. They will be exposed in a few days, let alone obtain useful information. It would be fine to invite them to take the Chunin exam, but the 2 Chunin exams this year have already been held, so we have to wait until next year. Advertisement, the long night has so many dreams. Onoki was worried. There are already 4-tailed beasts in Phoenix Village, and Rock Shinobi Village is definitely not the only one who is jealous. If you start a day late, it will be bad if someone else takes the lead. After all, no one knows how strong Mizuki is. Why don't we add another Chunin exam before the end of the year? Onoki's eyes lit up and he thought it was feasible. Immediately come up with a suitable reason so that others will not feel that the organization of this exam is too abrupt. After thinking about the reason, immediately send exam invitations to the surrounding ninja villages. In half a month, the Chunin exam will be organized. Elder B. What if Phoenix Village doesn't accept the invitation? Onoki. If you can't speak, just speak less, it's really disappointing. He stared at Elder B and said calmly, if you don't accept it, you have to find a way to make them accept it. This task will be left to you. No matter what, you must let them send Genin to take the exam. If they don't come, you can retire to Ghost Lantern City. The Country of Thunder, a certain city, sewer. 2 by wooden golem ran quickly in the sewer, looking back from time to time, and the footsteps behind him were very close. Finally, at the deepest point, the wooden golem stopped. She turned around and looked at the 2 chasing people quietly. Oh, is there no way out? In that case, let's just surrender, Kisame said with a smile. Of course, the most important thing is that wooden golem knows nothing about Kisame. By wooden golem. You should be the ones to be captured. Do you think I was running away just now? Let's go and bring her to Phoenix Village. Our mission will be completed. The next moment, her body turned into a half-tailed beast. It was indeed 3 tails, and a comatose 3 tails at that. This is 3 tails. Samahata is invincible against ninjutsu-type ninjas. Not to mention the 2 tails Jinchuriki, even the 8 tails Jinchuriki can't hold it for long. At this moment, he noticed a huge movement in the distance. What? Itachi urged. Kisame, do it. She is the perfect Jinchuriki and is harder to deal with than before. You be careful, I will hold the battle from the side. 10 minutes later, wooden golem was lying on the ground unconscious, while Kisami's clothes were intact. I just led you here and blocked the exit to prevent you from escaping. He flew into the air and looked into the distance, only to see a huge creature moving towards Phoenix Village. Several large white clay birds were flying in the air, all pulling 3 tails with iron chains and moving quickly this way. The next moment, there was an explosion above, and a large number of earth, stone and bricks fell, completely sealing the exit. In Phoenix Village, Mizuki has made plans to raid Mount Myoboku and is about to leave. Everywhere they went, trees fell in swaths. Good guy, the Akatsuki organization also sent 3 tails. It's really loyal.